All right. Hello, friends. Welcome to another awesome Thursday night where we will hang. Oh, golly, can I take callers tonight? You know what? I bet I. Hold on. You could probably do it through. What's up, Guapo, my guy? I started on OBS. Can I change that right now? I think I could probably do like a Google Meet and just share the screen. Try and figure it out that way. Because I don't know about how the hell I'm going to yeah. Hold on. Let me. I can't imagine. Okay, got it. Figured it out. Cool. Not now. Don't worry about that. New meeting. Okay, here we go. Start an instant one. There you go. How about that? Dude, shit starts getting weird. Give me a second. Let me see. Hold on. There ain't no dang inconvenience. It's very convenient to hang out with you. Cole, do I know your email address? If you're down to clown with me, if you're down to figure it out, we could try and run a Google Meet. If you send me your email address, just shoot me in a text, and then I'll fucking try and add you here if you want. We can sit here and chooch one up before I start anything. Yeah. That's it. Because it should just be a quick link that you can also join, and then I'll just bring it into OBS. And it might be a good enough try so that we figure out a cheaper way to do what we're doing, Guap and Cole and anybody who's also streaming. And then, obviously, it might not look about... Oh, hey, there it is. Fuck yeah. All right, there's that. And an email. Did we spell that right? And that. All right. I sent you an email. Let's see how this goes. I'm in your girlfriend's hot intestines cause I bought her 2 dresses and some contact lenses. Got a message in a bottle, hit the throttle in my Carol, click and clack my semi-auto cause I'm trying to see tomorrow. Bought a condo for my top. Awesome. Yeah, fuck yeah, Cole. I'm into that. We'll try it out. And if nothing else, like I said, I mean, it's an experiment for all of us. We can figure out, you're the man. We'll see how it plays out. All right, friends. John Voight, what's up, brother? Happy Thursday. Mr. Dr. Levy himself in the house, ladies and gentlemen, with some free coffee for everybody. Thank you, Doc. I appreciate it. I'm down to clown. Yeah. I've had people on as guests in Google Meets before. We'll just see how it shows up. And then I can give my
I don't know how to. I don't know. We're gonna figure it out when it happens. If y'all didn't see it, Cole was gracious enough to let me hang out with him on his Tuesday live session. It was a lot of fun. I appreciate that a bunch. What's up, Dudley Dawson? Happy Thursday, bro. Um, yeah. So we talked on Tuesday. Wednesday, two dope dudes, as you all should know. And then, what a good day. And Monday was the actual recording of two dope dudes. I've been having a good week this week. Oh, and I went and talked to some of my industry friends today. God damn. I love people, man. I really do. I visited them in the dispensary. I went in there. I didn't self-combust or blow up. I didn't get the icks. They didn't take any of my money. It was a very cordial and very nice experience, to be honest with you. Sean Whitney, what's good, brother? Happy Thursday, bro. But yeah, I figured, I might have self-combusted walking in there. Yeah. Sorry, Mr. John Voight. Oh, not the one that you work at, though. Well, the same, but just the different location. Oh, what's good, brother? Gamer Caleb, what's good, friend? How are you? Yeah, John, I went in there, had a good talk with a couple of my friends, and it's so crazy to be gone for as long as I have been, to show back up. A lot of same familiar faces. The love is not lacking a lot in the dispensary. There's a lot of, a lot of people love inside the dispensary, depending on which one you go to. But damn, everyone that I've been in, a lot of love. Salsa, what's good, dude? Hell yeah, Caleb. I'm glad to hear that. What's good, Salsa? Happy Thursday, my friend. Yeah, so the cannabis stuff, it's been going well. I like this. I like cannabis. I like having conversations with the intellects around the cannabis, people who understand it at a different level. It's fun to try to navigate, yeah, the business of it, the culture of it. You know what I mean? Because when I say there's love inside the dispensary, there definitely is. But it comes from the individuals that are there willing to show love. And then you got the corporations, and they're just businesses, dude. We all know businesses want to make money. If we owned a business, we'd want to make money in our business too. So I can't really hate on them for trying to make money. I just wish that some of the things were done more correctly. And what does more correctly mean? Because correctness can be very subjective. Because if you're, according to them, the correct thing to do is to make more money. That's what businesses do. If you're talking correctness in the way of humanity, empathy, happiness, health, love, abundance, fulfillment, the ways that you're going to achieve that, not a lot of times is it through making money. And maybe when all of us are making money together, that makes sense. But, I got real philosophical with one of my boys today. We were talking about we were talking about life. As you know, I like to get into the rabbles of. And, man, I think the lot of shit going on. For him, for myself, very similar overlapping things going on amongst us and our families. Family lives can be massively impactful to your overall thought process. Work life, kindness. Anyway, the one thing that I kept saying though, and it rings true for me. I'm just grateful as fuck to have the opportunity to do any of it, you know? Food is really nice. I like food. Don't overdo it, but you know, when you have some of it, that shit's real nice. Cannabis, when you got some of it, you don't overdo it. That shit's real nice. A little bit of love goes a long way. So yeah, it's you know, I don't know. I think even when things are kind of shit, the fact that we get to experience at all, whether it's the sense or the views or the tastes or the feelings or the whatever, there's a lot of really good that we got to be grateful and thankful for. And the biggest parts that I'm grateful and thankful for are my interactions with other humans that are along the same lines and in the same, you know, playing fields as everybody else. And I'm not hateful of anybody else who isn't inside, you know, let everybody else do whatever they're doing. Maybe I don't like murder, you know, we shouldn't do that. Don't do that. There's a lot of things that you can do that are kind of shit, but I don't think the general populace is that. I think the general populace is a little bit more understanding, accepting, especially those who consume the cannabis. A little bit easier to get along with them folk. Oh, damn. Halo, I'm sorry to hear that, bro. Can I ask what kind of sickness if you're talking about, or if it's like, anyway, I won't, if you don't want to, it's all good. No, I'm staying the call. Quit messing me. All right. Genetic Mammary Farms. Happy Thursday, my friend. Good evening to you as well. I'm gonna get nice and a little bit cooked here pretty soon. I think our friend Cole is gonna try and join the show to have a nice quick chat, a nice little smoke sesh. All right. I'm trying to figure it out. We're gonna use platforms that we don't use. Vaporizer. All right. Anyway. Oh, Halo, that's a reality. Oh, genetic. I'm trying to get him to create the atomic bong. I really should put a petition. You think we could make a petition for this? Make the atomic bong? Get rid of the atomic bomb and come in with, hey, we're going to spread peace across your whole land. And it's not going to be loud and fucking boom. You know, it's just going to be gentle and comfortable. It's going to be peaceful and not loud, you know. It's going to be quiet. Nice. All right, Kayla, I like that. But yeah, it's we actually genetic. I don't know if you heard me. Me and one of my buddies, we got into it deep. We were talking about all kinds of shit, dude. And you know, he said we need a unifying. And I talk about this a lot. A lot of you have probably heard this before. He said we really need a unifying thing to happen, where we all just agree that we're the same fucking thing, that we're all just humans. We're literally the same. We're trying to tell everybody how different we are. I said, bro, do you ever listen to me on Thursday nights? I talk about this shit all the time. But one of the biggest things I say, if there was an alien attack, okay, aliens come down. It could be one fucking event that happened, okay? One alien killed up one little, maybe some bad people, okay? It wouldn't even matter, because they would start to paint it, oh my God, the aliens are coming to get us all. You could go to the fucking, to the middle, to the damn border between fucking Russia and Ukraine, and at the center of where the fucking battles and the crazy shit's going on, if there was aliens, that shit would stop immediately. The person inside the fucking, in fucking Russia, if somebody from Ukraine was like running through the fucking streets, aliens, you would be like, hey, come inside, dude, there's aliens out there, stop yelling, you draw attention to us, you jackass, you know. So anyway, there's just all that. But give me a second, we got a lovely person. Let me try to figure out how to do this really. All right, let me shut off the music for 1 second. Stop that. All right, hold up, wait a minute. Okay, oh, That bit. Look at this. What a lovely man. Well, I got to figure out how to get you in here, Cole. How do I get fucking Biz off of there? Dude, buddy, help me. Oh, there he is. All right, that's good. All right, now let's unmute yourself. Let's hear that. Can you hear me right now, Cole, or no? Through the stream, probably, and not through this. Let me turn my mic on here. Use the microphone, dude. Shit. Allow while visiting this site. Okay, there he is. Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. Now, let me see if I can turn you up a little bit. Here, talk one more time for me.
Check 1, 2, 3.
Oh, okay. Here he is. Now we're cooking.
Now we're cooking with. I won't say it.
Yeah, peanut oil. That gas, bro.
How are you doing tonight?
Good, man. How are you? Can everybody hear Cole just fine right now and still hear me? Is this working out all right? All right. Somebody will let us know in there.
Yeah.
Kind of. All right. Well, I'll
Am I
turn it.
quiet?
Yeah, I don't think. I mean, I got you turned up pretty good. I can hear you on my side pretty well without jacking you up too high. Let me put you up just a little bit further over here. Hey, now. Okay. What's good, dude?
Dude, just blazing it, man. Just having a good night. Saw
Good.
your Let's Go Live, and I was like, maybe I should save this one for me and Dave to talk to chat up on.
Hell yeah. Oh, I like that. I'll turn my little device on here. I had it packed up waiting to go too. So cheers to you, brother. I appreciate you.
Yes, absolutely. Cheers.
Yeah.
Hope everybody else is smoking out there too. What you toking up on?
Just a little bit of there's other people in the chat that might know the name better than I do, to be honest with you. I don't remember the name of it. But I'm waiting because they may say it and they may not. But they know what I'm smoking right now. It's a little homegrown.
I catch your drift.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, you had immaculate conception of the homegrown.
Bingo. A little immaculate conception. I put you on my headphones just to see. Wait, talk one more time. Oh, I might have killed the audio. Hold up. No, we're just gonna leave you there. Sorry, Aaron, if you're hearing some extra. Titty sprinkles, Chris Frank. That sounds like craziness. I love the names that they come up with in cannabis nowadays.
Yeah, I need some sprinkles in my life.
Oh, that's all right. I like it. SFVOG times margarine would be the strain going on in here.
Very cool. Crossed with margarine. That's an interesting cross.
Yeah.
Land O'Lakes.
I love it. Yeah, no, SFV is like one of my favorite. I hate like claiming strains are my favorite because you'll probably hear me say that about 20 different times over. But SFVOG, classic for me.
Hell yeah. Yeah, dude. SF, yeah, it's like right up there with like Diesel and all those other classics. For sure. Sour Diesel, I meant to say.
Yeah. Well, and all diesels, and that's like what I wish kind of stayed more true with cannabis was the naming convention where you could know what the hell you were getting into before consuming, right? Like diesels used to all be diesels, and now you go get some and they have very like cushy notes or they have very, you know, linalool note, you know what I mean? Just weird ass things where I'm like, that's not a diesel, bro. That's not what that's supposed to do for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
San Fernando Valley, Chris. Oh, nice, Guapo. Way to jump in there.
Hell fucking yeah.
So, dude, how's things going? How is the pod? How is the new um CNN? Dude, you're on the big network now?
Yes, yes. Me and Fareed Zakaria and Anderson Cooper
Yes.
making the joke of it's if folks want to look it up, it's pro cannabis media, cannabis coast to coast news, which is why you're thinking CNN. Um, it's going good. Yeah, just submitted actually my latest segment for this week, which is just a very, if you've seen it, the reports are less than 2 minutes long all the time. So it's just a very brief report mentioning that there's been legislation introduced in Illinois. You know, it adds the context that legislation hasn't passed for the last few years in Illinois, so we'll see. And basically, if they want to read more, I actually plug Illinois News Joint. So in the spirit of supporting dope people, I'm using the platform to tell others about Illinois News Joint, which I know is a platform we all value and love. So
Yeah, absolutely. No, um and I was telling everybody on Tuesday I was with Cole in his live session where he played his interview with Jason Brown from Illinois News Joint. If you haven't seen it, I do recommend you all go check it out. Incredible interview, and it's a perspective from a couple of people that are valuable perspectives. Both you and Jason have understanding, and you have optimism and pessimism kind of at the same time, right? You're able to see it from both sides, and I think your interpretations and take on it, both of you, was incredible. It was perfect.
yeah, Jason's got, like an actual credentialed journalistic outlook on the matter. And then I try my best to stay neutral. But at the end of the day, I'm just a cannabis consumer, a little bit of a picky one. And so sometimes that my bias bleeds through in that way. But yeah, no, I think it was a great conversation. And that's why I've enjoyed collaborating with him, over the years. Just because, like you said, I think he brings a whole different perspective to the matter that I just can't bring because I don't know the thing. You don't know what you don't know, right?
Yeah.
So
Yep. I love that. Just quick shout out, Mr. Beard and Mr. Cody Taylor. What's up, boys? Happy Thursday. Thanks for coming on in.
hell yeah, thanks. Happy Thursday, everybody. It's Thursday, right?
It is. And
You know
Guapo
what's
said it perfectly here. I don't know if you're reading the chats at the same time. But I think maybe that's the one thing between these two platforms, and I could figure it out pretty quickly, how to put chats up on the screen, but I don't have it right now. But Guapo said, and he's absolutely right. The Cole memo, if you guys aren't familiar, is the most professional of all of us as far as covering news, as far as journalism goes. Me and Guapo always like to say that we're just a couple of guys who would be having these conversations to begin with. But fucking Cole does a really good job of covering some news stories that are going on in the state of Illinois, around the country altogether, but in the state especially, and has some really good guests. Fucking state representatives, people making changes in the laws, people trying to change laws. Lots of really cool guests, and yeah, so definitely, for those of you in here who don't know who Cole is, you should know who Cole is. You should go like, subscribe, do the whole bit to the Cole memo on YouTube, and yeah, keep an eye out, keep an ear out.
Dave, thank you for the kind words and for the plug. Yeah. I'll keep it short and just say I interview dealers of all drugs. I don't discriminate. Um, I interview people, yeah, that deal drugs for sure, but also like Dave said, elected representatives and so on and so forth. So, I was just thinking, Dave, the other day, it's crazy. I interviewed this guy once. His name is Dana Larson, and he is in Canada. He actually helped to sort of like I think he's credited for helping to progress the medical cannabis movement in Canada. he opened one of the first, if I remember correctly, one of the first medical cannabis dispensaries in Canada. He has since forged the way with opening like mushroom shops and
Nice.
coca cafes. And I was talking to him about growing his own coca last time he was on the show, and that was the thought that came up. It's interesting because I know a lot of home growers might be tuning in right now, and it's interesting to know the different ways that home growing can permeate itself. And I want to be clear, he wasn't growing coca to make cocaine, like the chemical concentrated synthetic form, if you will, of coca. He was making like coca tea and
Nice.
chewing the leaves, like doing the natural way, like they do in many countries, without like thinking twice about it.
Yeah.
Um, and so, anyways, I don't know what brought that thought up the other day, but I just thought our home growers might find it interesting. So,
It,
just
it,
bringing it up as a random fact.
no,
So do that.
honestly, bro, it's super cool. That's I think what like cannabis has brought me closer to more people that I never would probably have had the opportunity to be around if it weren't for this plant, right? This is the connecting factor of a lot of things. And you come to find out that all these people that have been um, discriminated against for a very long time as being some stony baloney or something of the nature ends up being some of the smartest, more educated, more capable human beings that you end up running into. It's super neat.
Yeah, yeah, well said. And I actually was just thinking about it. There's something that he wrote that I think you would love, because it really takes. I'm trying to find it right now. Oh man, of course I can't find the.
Oh, you're good. Take your time, dude. Fucking Biz, Gawani, and Gary Cornell. What's up, boys? Happy Thursday.
Indeed. Happy Thursday.
Um, yeah, no, like I said, I think for me too, and it's almost like it's like the Maureen's of the world too, though, right? Like the people who have a story who are so impacted by the difference this thing can make in their lives, and then the difference they try to make in the space around them because of it. It's super neat. I do wish that I could talk to her, man. Does I would love that.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah,
I do too. That's why I was trying to make the connection because I think it would be a great conversation.
yeah.
Um,
I appreciate the effort, honestly.
yeah, absolutely. So I'm finding a few different things, but I'm trying to find the original like thing that I found. But it's about the myth that cannabis potency has increased over the years, and I think you just
Okay.
really appreciate it.
I like that. There has been small incremental increases over
Yeah,
time, but it's because of understanding when in time to capture the thing and how to work your way to that point, right? Like where I love God, dude, that statement just got me reeling. So it's really cool because THC potency has gotten more, but it's
hmm
because of capturing THC at the moment where THC is the maximum on the plant. But effectively, THC is only THC. You can't make it more potent than THC. It just is the same thing.
right.
So where in the past people used to say, and you've probably heard it a million times, I know a lot of us have, where they go, "Oh, back in my day, cannabis was much better." Well, it could have been much better because it was more robust of a cannabinoid profile. It was less grown to, you know, pick out THC, but also it was grown more organically or naturally to where between curing processes or whatever, we might not have been destroying terpenoids or flavonoids at the same rate that we might be now because of either growing habits, growing environments, curing processes, whatever it is, right? So the more whole plant experience might have been better for some of them, and to not be so THC dominant might have been the things that like gave the best benefit to people. And because we've gone away from that, because prohibition made it a THC forward plant, it might have been better back in the day. The argument holds water if there was, and we know that there were, more regularly occurring cannabinoids outside of just THC.
Right. Right. Well, and then he also makes the point, before I read it, he also makes the point that, varying samples, if you try to determine a pattern from decades of test results, that can really be deceiving, because some samples are from live plants cut down because they were ready to harvest, but some might have been samples that have been slowly degrading in a police storage locker for years. Some might have been a big seizure of particularly high or low potency. And another thing that I can't remember where, but testing methods. So, there's different methods of analysis with, like, between gas chromatography, which was used for decades, and it can actually destroy THC while heating up the sample,
Yep.
which would produce an inaccurately low result. And many labs use liquid chromatography, I guess. But and then, of course, before I even get into any of this, like, we all know, THC inflation is something that, like, exists, like, people lab shop. And so the reason I find this whole thing funny is because it's not so much, I think you would actually agree with everything that's about to be said in this thread. This is meant to take on, like, prohibitionists that say this ain't your grandma's pot, right?
Yeah.
That's really what this is. So
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember this, but we had a surgeon general named Dr. Jerome Adams. He had a lisp, kind of like Mike Tyson. But anyway, uh, so he said that cannabis is 3 times stronger now than it was in the 90s. He said, quote, "This ain't your mother's marijuana. Not enough people know that today's marijuana is far more potent than in days past," end quote. So it sounds like the weed they smoked back in the 90s must have been pretty weak, right? Well, let's see. That in 1995, the United States drug czar Lee Brown told the media that, quote, "Marijuana is 40 times more potent today than it was 10, 15, 20 years ago," end quote. Here's what Joe Biden, then Senate Judiciary Committee chair, had to say in 1996 about how strong marijuana had become. Quote, "It's like comparing buckshot in a shotgun's shell to a laser-guided missile," end quote. That's Joe Biden. So the 1980s weed must have been pretty weak, right? Well,
That's
the National Institute of Drug Abuse in 1986 said, quote, "The potency of marijuana has increased sevenfold in the last 11 years. Smoking one marijuana cigarette is now equivalent to smoking 7 cigarettes 9 or 10 years ago." That was in 1986, right? So the cannabis is now 3 times stronger than the stuff in the 90s, which was 40 times stronger than the stuff in the 80s, which was 7 times stronger than the stuff in 1975. We should only assume the 70s weed was pretty weak, right? Well, in 1975, they said weed was 20 times stronger than it was in the 60s. And it goes on. I'll paste this thread in the
that's
chat.
fucking awesome.
But he has citations for it all, like with newspaper clippings, and so he ends up asking the question: is our modern marijuana really 12,600 times stronger than that? Than
Yeah.
what it used to be?
Yeah.
Um, it's a funny take, so I
And
thought you'd find it
yeah,
funny.
Guapo just linked an article too. It says marijuana is 67,200 times stronger than it used to be, according to the media. Okay. So, in the same way that what you're saying, compounded over time, and like it's, there is a truth to there being
Well,
more THC potency.
the guy that wrote that article that Aaron linked is the same guy, actually.
Oh,
So
nice. Hell yeah.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
what's up.
yeah. I think he's done this, like, same thought a few different ways and maybe a few different publications, but because he's a writer. I think Aaron linked his book earlier. He writes a lot, so
Yeah. Potheadbooks.com.
Mhm.
That might be. Also Genetic Memory Farm says, I think Illinois really lacks cannabis knowledge and culture because we lack home growers. Michigan has such a good market because they have a culture of growers. More growers means more diversity. And I agree with that. Um, but that's like a full acceptance of this thing. Where like what Cole's saying is they're trying so hard to still blow this thing up and make it seem like it's something that it isn't. To even equate cannabis to laser guided missiles or buckshot uh from a shotgun is as extreme as you need to get to be. Like that's way more extreme than even makes sense, right? I understand why in a scaling perspective, but it's those correlations that constantly come up that they're trying to give the thing a worse name than what it is. And um yeah, there is historical reference, and honestly, this is where I think High Times is like kind of a bible of some of this shit. High Times has, and I have magazines over my shoulder back behind the screen over here of fucking the 70s and the 80s of cannabis in America. And there's no doubt, especially all of us know that sticks and stems, the seeded up shit that we used to smoke in the late 90s or whatever the hell it was that was more abundantly available is not as potent as the stuff that we have now. Um, but it's also it was still THC and it still got the job done. And in fact, if anything, I giggled way more back in the day than I do now. You know? So
Hell yeah, I
maybe the
agree.
stuff.
Oh, I definitely think people grow better weed, and that's what that's why whenever I start talking about that thread, I like to be like, look, this is not to say that weed is not better than it ever has been. This is really to deflate prohibitionist talking points because they
Yeah.
exaggerate. They
Yeah.
exaggerate. It's like, yeah, weed is better, of course,
Yeah.
because we're applying modern cultivation knowledge plus whatever else we've been learning, over the years, to this. It's coming out of the out of the closet,
Yeah.
and that's like
Yeah.
keeping to grow in the closet. So
Oh, it's awesome.
yeah,
Yeah. Penny Pebble Ripplers. What is up, my friend? Happy Thursday. Said 80s I was getting ripped. I they said I've never not felt good from cannabis throughout this whole time. If I did, I'd probably stop. You know what I mean? But it's still done pretty well. I do think that there are parts of this plant now that are great, but it's hard for me not to say at the same time. Back in my day, back in the beginning of the 2000s, there was some incredible cannabis going around. Like, and maybe it's because over time I've ruined some of my taste buds or I've grown a tolerance or whatever. But some of those freaking strains, dude, stick out in my head. Like, I almost can still taste them when I think about them. I almost can put myself in some of the settings that I was in while getting them the first time. And like,
hell yeah.
yeah,
No, I agree. Keep going.
yeah. Dr.
It all,
Danknugs, what's up, brother?
it all
Uh,
comes back to me. No, I literally I've had that, like, I swear, just like within the last week. I was just like driving around and I was like thinking about one of the first few times I had smoked weed and I just could like taste that taste in my mouth and it just made me happy.
yeah. There's like, uh, there's this one strain had one of the best flavors of cannabis where like I used to like tell people it tasted like candy. I don't know what the hell it was, but it left almost like a sweet thing inside my mouth. I don't think I've ever had that again in my life. And was I pie in the sky because I was a younger kid? But I had smoked plenty in my life to the point where I finally had this thing. And there was like this almost distinct like cherry candy that I used to have that I equated it to. I'm like, this is the same flavor as that thing. I got 1 ounce of it as a kid. I paid way too much money for it. Well, but not really because I'd pay it probably 5 times as much as I paid for it back then to have, another unit of it myself, I don't know. I love that shit. So, and then,
Hell yeah.
creeper weed just got brought up in the chat. The creeper weed from back in the day, and I think that might be a tolerance thing, possibly. But
Also,
also
also,
there,
I'm convinced. I'm just making a joke since it's wintertime right now too. I'm convinced that when we were back in the day, like we're talking about, we like smoked outside, right? Because it was back in the day. You didn't want the smell to linger in your house. What if the cops just knocked on your door? All of a sudden they can come in. I don't know. I'm just being silly, but like yeah. My point is I swear that the cold. My joking point is that the cold delays your high. Like if you go out right now, freeze your ass off because it's cold out in Illinois right now, right? And smoke some weed, you're gonna come back inside and it ain't gonna hit you until like 15 minutes later.
And
And
that,
I'm saying this comedically. I don't know that I'm not actually believing this. I'm not saying it's a science, but I swear.
dude, there might be science to it. Our blood flows a little bit slower when we're in the cold. It tries to concentrate into certain parts to keep our body warmth going right. There might be some like science behind what you're saying that makes sense, actually.
Yeah, hell yeah. So all I know is I've just rolled up another joint. It's go time, people.
Oh, nice. Chris Frank said the only time he ever had some candy taste and stuff, he said was Outer Space from Cresco. Um, I have smoked plenty of Outer Space from Cresco, actually. Uh, It is a very much so sweeter thing. Although I say that too when I literally tell people that Florida orange used to taste like orange Tic Tacs, like to the T. You know, like that was my favorite thing in the whole world back from Revolution beginning days of the market in Illinois. Amazing product.
Yeah, since you brought up Cresco, I can say it now. Earlier, when I said now you're cooking with, of course, the saying is cooking with Crisco, but I think it's hilarious, and they should own it. Now you're cooking with Cresco.
That's
They
awesome.
should sell trim. Cresco, take this idea and run with it. Sell trim that's like made for making edibles. In the thing, it's like now you're cooking with Cresco.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
bang.
Dude. And here we are, you know, those guys sitting over there on their mountains and
You know why? Because they don't broadcast their great ideas like that to the internet like we do.
touche.
I'm just
Yeah.
joking. I'm just being silly.
Dude, so that's oh, that is so brilliant though. Oh, smoking out of a 6-footer back in the day. Styles of smoking was different. I used to smoke out of a gas mask a lot when I was a kid.
Oh, Aaron's asking if I'm primarily a joint guy. I'd say so. I just like the simplicity of a joint. You just roll it up. It just rolls. Aaron might even remember this from back in the day. The Chillinois papers. I'm smoking on those tonight.
Yeah, Dr. Dinknug says, "Hell no, I'm not going outside in this cold shit." It's hilarious, but uh plenty of times back in the day we didn't have an option. All right? There was no way your parents were going to let you smoke in their house, you know. That's at least mine. Like fuck that.
Genetics. They already sell trim called pre rolls and shake. Yeah.
Oh, it's so funny. we dude. Yeah. Like I said, I went and saw some of my industry friends today and they said it's crazy still how many people want they that's what their desire is to go into the dispensary and buy a on sale $8 joint, you know? And it's trim, it's whatever. But they were like, yeah, they get pissed off when it's not here. And I was like, yeah, I mean, I guess I understand.
Yeah. I
But
mean, I knew somebody that worked in a smoke shop, and they that was generally like $5 to $8 range. People come in. That's kind of what it seemed like the going rate were, and people would be extremely frustrated if it was any higher than that.
yeah, which is, and we talked about this too, and I've said it a lot lately. Um, we've been paying the same price, if not less, for cannabis for our entire lives. We've been arguing for it to go down in price our entire lives, while all of us are okay going and spending $7 on a bag of Doritos when we feel it. You know? Which
Yeah, but the thing, I agree with that, but like I agree with like the premise that you started with. My thing about that's frustrating about weed prices is that they were only as high as they were because it was illegal. You know what I mean? And so some of these people, like I even have had like economists come on and I asked the question like, is it that prices it's a race to the bottom? Is it that it's a race to the bottom, or is it a race to the natural price of cannabis? Like, is it supposed to be, generally speaking, about as cheap as tomatoes? You know what I mean? Like, that's
Well,
the question. It's just a plant, you know?
so I think that I think Aaron and I just talked about this. There is a race to the bottom that's kind of happening in a way, where some people would be happy to provide it at that rate if they were able to be the ones growing it at that rate also, where the limitations of who's growing it and how much they can grow will play a big factor in this. And when there's states like Virginia, Aaron and I were just covering, that are literally saying we are allowing these cultivation centers to buy the rights to the first adult use licensing. Um, and they literally said the word monopoly in their own speech of why it's okay. And like, if we allow a monopolization of this thing to happen and only a few really big companies are the people who have full control of the market, we will see it go the other way. We will see it them start to try to increase prices with inflation. They will kind of cap everything. They won't grow too much, and where that's why I advocate heavily for more access and more growing and shit, because it will ultimately help level the pricing out. As we see in Michigan, we have a prime example of it.
Yeah, and I want to be clear. I always say when I say this, like, I expect there to be really, really cheap weed, but I still think there's room for there to be expensive weed. I'm not saying that some of the people that are tuning in right now, they might actually be pretty confident that a lot of the people that are tuning in right now can grow really great weed. And so I'm not saying that somebody who or offers a quality product can't demand a quality price. I'm just saying that, like, generally speaking, for example, I'm not going to give this company free advertising, but the shitty beer that I'm drinking that people have probably seen on the screen a few times, like I can go right now and buy like just a lot of it for a crazy cheap price.
You
My
can buy
point
more
is,
than you
it's
can
not
store.
for sure, but and at a cheap price is really my point. Like
Yeah.
at a very fair price, more than you can somebody would consume tonight, and we could share it and everything, and it's nuts. And my point is that I'm ready for there to be that world with weed where it's like I'm not saying it's the bet like this is not good beer. Like there's better beers out there. There's better whiskeys out there, right? But you get my point, right? Like
Yeah.
I just think there should be like for example, Mike, I guess just to end my thought, when you go into a like actual liquor store like a Benny's or whatever, you see so many brands that you've never even fucking heard of and you would never even give a chance. And they're cheap. Sometimes they're a little bit like randomly high priced or medium priced. Some of them you've heard of. It's like Johnny Walker Red, and it's like, oh shit, that's like a premium product, and that's why it costs that much. And we've all heard of it, right? Or like a cognac or something like that. Um, my point is there's bottom of the barrel products you never heard of, you're never going to try. There's products, and then there's products that people go, wow, I only buy that on special occasions. And I just think that I just can't wait till we get there with cannabis.
Yeah, well, bingo. And allow the free market to figure it out, because there are whiskey producers that are far better at producing whiskey, and they do it for cheaper than Johnny Walker. But because Johnny Walker has the labeling that they do and they have the recognition that they do, they get and fetch a higher premium. But it's because of the same thing. And this is why I say it all the time. It's not about what they grow, it's about who grew it. So whiskey's whiskey, right? To a degree. I'm not going to shit on anybody who's a whiskey connoisseur, but whiskey's whiskey. Cannabis is cannabis. Depending on some of these classifications within it, they're relatively the same. But who did it
But you know what's
makes it.
crazy though, real quick, Dave? I don't
Yeah.
mean to, just because this has always fascinated me. I'm curious your take on this. So they're like whiskey's whiskey, right? And to me, like if you put a couple of glasses of whiskey in front of me, I'd be like, no difference. but apparently there's literally a legal distinction between like a Jack Daniel's whiskey and like a bourbon, and it's because of
Yeah.
how it was like aged in Kentucky. And I guess my point is, isn't it crazy? And you guys have talked about this on your show before, how like people can bring in a strain and then completely rename it. Like you literally legally can't do that with a wine. Like you can brand it however you wanted,
Yeah.
but if you're selling Moscato, you can't call it Chardonnay.
Yeah. Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Big.
Like, and it's just like, I don't know if I'm making a point. I'm not trying to make it harder to sell cannabis. I'm just saying like the structure is very loose, I guess is my point. I don't
Yeah.
know. I'm
No,
just
well, and
thinking out loud.
like you were saying though, there are processes that go in place with making a bourbon versus making a rye versus making a whatever, and it's because of aging and barreling or whatever they do. Um, but so okay, so I go get a barrel that was made in Kentucky and I throw my whiskey inside of it. It's Kentucky aged whiskey. And in the same way, like you can kind of follow the steps and the processes, but the other one who is Kentucky, I don't know if it's Jim Beam or whatever, Jack Daniels, whatever. If that company is using a proprietary barrel maker, they make their whiskeys with a little bit different flavor notes and whatever. There are distinctions between. And then like it's all okay, so they can make millions of gallons. The small new producer can make thousands of gallons and they have to cover overheads and do all the things too. So like, I don't know. I think there's a lot of factors that go into play to make that what it is, but I think there's so many varieties and so many different kinds of um, cannabis. Uh, you know, that's my whole what I was talking about earlier. Why I just want diesels to be diesels. I want fucking chems to be chems. I want Kushes to be Kushes. And now because we went, okay, OG Kush, uh, you know, SFV OG Kush, we've got Hell's Angels Kush, we've got all these different Kush strains that come about, and like they start to lose some of the distinctability of what it is, but there is some differences to it. So I don't know what the right answer is, I guess is what I'm saying. I just think that um in all of this, we know that Jim Beam exists, and we know that that shitty beer company that you're drinking still exists. And like you said, they offer it at a price that the masses can enjoy it at. Where currently, and I think that's because there's a vast difference in this too. You could buy better beers, like you just said, but what's your budget? Do you give a shit to begin with? Because I'm just looking for that little bit of buzz or something where, and not throwing anybody under the bus. My boy Biz in here, this dude says he's like, I don't give a fuck what I smoke. Cannabis is cannabis. So like some of the shit that you and I would turn our nose up to, that dude would be like, why quit being a snob and like just smoke the shit. It's good, right? And I think that like each one of us, as long as they have like whatever good is to us, as long as there's good cannabis out there that's at a reasonable cost, I'm fully for it. And I think it sucks that good cannabis it doesn't follow any distinction. It's not because of the naming convention. It's not because of the pricing
Right.
convention. It's not because of there's so many factors that like don't make it what it is, the THC percentage, the labeling, and those are the factors that we end up purchasing this thing off of. So it's, until some of those things get fixed, I think we're at a crapshoot anyway. And
Yeah. Well said, man. As always. I completely agree. So,
yeah,
yeah, fun conversations here tonight. I appreciate you letting me join just like impromptu. It's really cool of you. Um, you know, I was just gonna burn one down and yeah,
yeah.
I
Well,
appreciate
thanks for shooting the shit, dude, and fucking lending your perspective on some stuff. I do want to highlight this. I don't know if you saw this or not, but my boy said I'm starting to think in wall shelves are prerequisites to hosting a podcast, and it's
he's on to something.
it's oh, it's so good.
You got to get you some shelves. Who said that?
My buddy Biz, same guy was saying doesn't
Ah,
care what smoke it is. Smoke is smoke. And like, Penny Pebbler says here, um, Penny Pebble. I gotta stop saying Pebbler. It's Pebble Rippler. Anyway, um, they buy shake. Doesn't matter. Small buds, all fine and dandy. And that's what I'm saying too. Like, if we went away from all the stupid naming conventions of the thing and we did all that stuff, if we knew what methods of ingestion meant and we knew what cannabinoids kind of did and we knew what terpenoids generally we lean within, we would find far more products that we liked and agreed with, um, barring there being a true lab result or something that we're looking at, right? Because we know that that's a big factor.
right. Yeah, like I said, I don't even know what my idea would look like in practice, what I was saying earlier, but it's the whole idea that we're just naming shit whatever the fuck we want. Like like I've literally heard people like be like, "Oh yeah, we bought this strawberry dandy and we're naming it Khalifa Kush because people well, that maybe that's a bad example because you have to have a license to do that, somewhere
Well,
like a brand, but you know what I'm saying, where it's like we're going to take this and we're going to name it that because
I
it's
I have it somewhere on this computer, and if I started to look for it, it could get into a long, awkward pause. So I'll save it. But I have the old naming list where Verano, um,
oh yeah, I remember that. People posting
Ataraxia,
that
whatever.
on Reddit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they changed all of the names of their flower product overnight, just named it differently, and then went on selling these new strains. And I always made the joke too. It felt like they were like, okay, guys, they went in. It was just like this big conference, this good idea. All right, we're gonna change all of the names of the plants that we grow because we do it. It's ours. It's our proprietary ways of growing it now. Whatever. So we're gonna let each department pick a name in each department, because like it felt like there was like Sue's weed. And I know there was just some sad cuss in there who fucking went home and he was like, babe, best thing in my whole life. They said I get to go and name my own strain. And then he was like, I just can't think of like what the best thing would be. And her name was Sue. And she's like, well, you could name it after me. And then that poor sucker lost his fucking ability to name a weed, whatever the hell Chris was smoking earlier. Titty sprinkles or something. And then he lost that opportunity and he named it Sue's weed, and now whatever. Or maybe it was Sue herself who said, you know what, I'm naming this shit right after me. But regardless, there was like a lot of weird namings that went on. It was like raspberry jelly donut. And I was like, how the hell does that lean back to cherry gelato? Like, you know what I mean? Like, and as if cherry gelato wasn't enough of a food product or a tie-in name that you should just, okay, whatever, like super weird.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, it's all trippy. Genetic Memory Farms it looks like they're agreeing with us. They're saying I hate the naming convention or lack thereof for cannabis. For beer, we have the BJCP style guide. I don't even know, but I'm guessing it's like the idea that like this shitty beer that I'm drinking is a pilsner. It's not the only pilsner you've ever heard of, right?
yes.
So like that's an interesting thing. Like I'm like, how did? But that's my thing. I don't know how we do that with cannabis. Still,
Well, and but that's what I'm like I said, if it's diesel,
yeah.
leave it as a diesel. And if you back cross it 50 times or
But
you've
like,
crossed
how do we define that? I guess is my thing. Is like, do you find what use? Because like some, like we have to find a diesel and be like test. However, how do you test it? I guess is my point. Is it the complete cannabinoid and terpene profile, and is it like an average of
touche.
several batches? You
I
know.
think it would have to be based off of, you would almost classify, because I've talked about this too. How do you change indica and sativa? All right. I hate it because that's a bad interpretation of what these things do. Are there some that are more generally uplifting and some that are more sedative? Fine. But to
But
always call something indica or sativa is leaning it towards a bad thing. And then
yeah,
hybrid,
yeah. It's just frustrating. I hate to be the nerd here, but I hate, and I maybe you already know this point, but I hate that literally it's so misleading, like all the way down to like literally the use of the terms indica and sativa. Those are like scientific terms that were not meant to have like a physiological
Yeah.
connotation. It
Yeah.
was supposed to describe physical adaptations of the plant,
Yeah. Literally.
and that's where I like, like it's crazy to hear that still permeate. And like sometimes I just use the vernacular, or I guess for lack of better words, to like just communicate with people because it's
Yes.
caught on enough.
Yes.
But even myself, sometimes I'm like, why am I doing this? Why am I contributing to it?
Well, but because like you're saying too, how do you change it? What do you say? My linalool, my, you know, what way do we classify the thing to make it so that it is what it is?
Right.
And I think that when they call this thing indica or sativa in
Mhm.
the markets now, it generally is something that has more of a myrcene content or something that has more of a limonene content. And the cursors to it, with the myrcene, you get the linalool. With the limonene, you get the caryophyllene or the pinene or whatever. And those things kind of clump themselves more on either side of uplifting or sedative. But there's times where all things considered, right? An indica plant, according to what they're saying, produces almost a sativa terpene profile. So then what the fuck do you do? If the limonene goes higher than the myrcene, then what do you do? You
Also, like I've seen edibles of the same strain marketed as a different thing, and it's like, well, then how does that work? Is it because of the distillation process? Like I'm not trying to say that they did anything again, right? I'm not trying to say that they're. I mean, I kind of am challenging the like the binary, I guess the triple way the three ways we seem to be classifying cannabis, but I don't know. Like, you know what I'm talking about though? Like,
yeah,
do you get my question where it's like sometimes you see the edible version of the same strain
yes.
that is sold smokable as a sativa, but then as an edible, it's sold as an indica. It's like, I get that it's just to describe what they say is the effect, but it's like, I don't know. I want to pass it back to you because I'm sure you have a lot of thoughts, but it's interesting to like, I remember one of the first documentaries I saw, like in California, they'd receive these like big bags of weed, and they like did this same type of sativa indica hybrid thing, but it was literally just one guy's job. He'd smoke weed and be like, yeah, that's like a sativa hybrid. like
I
like
would love it. Give me that job.
it's like
Um,
that's like the basis. But anyways, I'm curious all your thoughts. That was just meant to be a little bit funny at the end there.
no, and I mean, I think you nailed it too. That's the whole thing that's also broken with this. How can you take a crop of OG Kush, distill it in any capacity, and then somehow make that same thing sativa indica and hybrid as far as edibles go? And the way that you could is by reintroducing dominant terpenes of either classification that they generalize by. But we all know that that's not happening. Cannabis derived terpenes, to extract them. Now, here's it. If we're getting 20% THC on a plant, okay, and it's taking 7 grams to make 1 gram of concentrate of THC dominant concentrate. Uh, how much is it going to take to get something that is let's say a terpene value is 3%, okay? So you're already that much less than the fucking cannabinoids. But of the terpenoids, each one is like 1% of the value, 0.5% of the value. So now we're talking about 20 times. Okay, let's say if you wanted just 1 gram of myrcene out of the same thing that you just took 20% THC, you want 1 gram of myrcene and you got 1 gram from 7. Okay, if it's if it's 20 to 1, you need 140 grams of a flower product to extract 1 gram of myrcene from it. Now, granted, that can be diluted into something at a different rate, right? So it doesn't maybe take as much to get maybe the same levels of potency and whatever. But I can just tell you from my experience in cultivation centers, in dispensaries, they're not this technical. Nobody's doing that. And if anything is being reintroduced, it is a food grade terpenoid, and it's not a cannabis derived terpenoid that's going back into it to differentiate between indicas and so yeah, I don't know. I mean, and like Chi-Town Hi-Fi, hello by the way, and Chi-Town 21, hello by the way. Like Chi-Town Hi-Fi says here, there's no such thing as a sativa terp. Well, that according to what people are classifying things as, that's what we have as to our at our disposal, is to understand that a cultivation center ac- across the United States period is using an outlier of limonene content to consider their product a sativa, and they're using the outlying myrcene content to tell you if it's an indica. And there are some more, like, you typically wouldn't find a linalool in a sativa necessarily, and I'm saying that knowing that I'm false about that, but you can find linalool in sativas, but linalool at a higher abundance leans towards being a sedative. So, in the essence of what an indica is or a sativa is, if it was a sativa that had more levels of linalool and the more that it went up, the less it would act like a sativa and the more it would be a sedator, right? So, yeah.
Hell yeah, dude. Hey, I'm gonna be right back in like I'm gonna say 75 seconds.
Yeah, do it. Fine. All right, friends. Thanks for hanging out with me and Cole. Let me jump back up in the chats for a second. Sorry I missed a few of you, and some of you were making some great point. Um, genetic memory farms, again, thank you a ton for your input. You actually say a lot of good things, and if Cole and I weren't bouncing back and forth there, I would have brought up some of your points at a better thing. But talking about the food and correlating it to and our perception of it, great correlations, way to make that happen. Um, well, and Penny, like Penny says here, pissed they don't carry skunk phenos at the dispo. They might be, but they are masked behind the name of something else. And that's what sucks, because some of us who are looking for the skunk to come through more, or the, garlic to come through more, or the, oranginess to come through more, we're told that certain things are doing that. We're going in and off of the labeled packages, we're going, okay, let me have that high myrcene content. And from that, we're not getting that super citrusy, orangey flavor. And we're going, okay, well, then what else is it? Well, is it the proper amount of myrcene and limonene, which we all know, again, both citrusy kind of things? And that might be it. But the more that there is this crossbreeding and um a hunt to be the newest, next biggest, best strain, the more chance we have of confusion seeping into what's going on here. Cole's back. Let me just scroll through here, see if I didn't miss anything else. Distillate is high fructose corn syrup of weed. That is a great statement, pretty funny. um who else we got in here? Lemon satisfied. Brewer, Jim Beam, Kentucky. Gary knows Kentucky bourbon. That's a Kentucky man himself. Yep,
Gotta give,
yep.
gotta give a shout out to Weedman 420 Chronicles podcast, because Genetic Memory Farm said, "Thanks for the show. Y'all and Cole are some of the only voices in Illinois." And that's another podcast in Illinois that I know of. Um,
Hell
that's a
yeah.
home grower. Boots.
Hell yeah. I like that. What is it? Weedman 420?
Yeah. Man 420 Chronicles, I believe.
Okay. There's a better chance that I am following said people, but I'll make sure that I am. Um,
Yeah, it looks like Aaron knows Boots.
Corn for whiskey. Oh, you're talking about Boot Romano. What's his name? Yeah, Boot.
I
Yeah,
only know those Boots. Yeah.
yeah. I love that dude. He's a yeah. I get along pretty well with that guy. He's got like the little goatee thing going on, or like soul patch or something, right? Yeah, I fucking love that.
Yeah, he was rolling joints at my mini dock, which was cool.
Yeah,
At the in Blue Island.
that's dope.
Yeah,
Super cool.
very cool guy. So, anyways, sorry, I didn't mean to take you out. I don't know what made me think of Boots.
No, you're
Oh, they said I was trying to give shout outs to other voices in Illinois. Do you know other shows in Illinois? Other podcasts that talk about
uh
weed in Illinois?
Guapo's gonna do this better than me. Guapo knows more of the people. Guap, if you don't, who else is it? And Miss Anita and Miss Lucy, hello to you all as well.
I know Crane's Chicago just did a interview with one of their reporters who had interviewed a lot of social equity licensees. Very interesting listen. Definitely check that out. And then there was dude Dave, and Aaron. I was talking to Aaron too. The Metric CEO gave a interview on Cultivated, a podcast, Cultivated Live,
Yeah,
and it was so interesting.
really.
It was so interesting. They were actually talking about how like like certain things are tracked just for the sake of keeping data. So, for example, like Walmart has RFID in a lot of their things so that they can just like track and do logistics and stuff. But then they talked about like orchids and vanilla and like different plants and how like some of them also have to be tracked sort of from seed to sale. And I always thought cannabis, I'm pretty sure I'll have to look at the interview here in a second, look at the transcript and see if I can make sure it's the right plants I'm talking about. But I just didn't know that like that type of thing existed for other things. And then but what I found interesting and what I thought Aaron might find interesting is that they mentioned that like BT Gov thing and like talked a little bit about that. And I plan to listen to it again because I was like busy at the time, but it was very interesting. So I just wanted to mention it for other people that are
Yeah, while
curious about.
while you were talking, I went and found it on YouTube. As soon as I'm over, or as soon as I'm done doing this, I'll jump on there and I'll play it and try to interpret it myself too. But no, I love that, and I not all data aggregation is bad, right? I'm not against whatever. When it's used for a positive thing, it can be great. But uh, government facing data, especially if it's tieable to the individual, I'm not super for. So there's that bt.gov or whatever, or the bt.gov or whatever it is, biotrack government facing thing that is, um, it's sketchy. It's a little bit weird, but at the same time, if done correctly, it doesn't have to be scary or weird. So,
Yeah. Um, Trying to look for that.
and I'm finally caught up on uh the chat as well. And genetic memory farms, I know Cole already said it, but thank you, bro. Uh It's a very nice thing you said there. Dude, did I smoke this thing?
You haven't hit it at all this whole entire show.
You shut up. I'm gonna smoke it again. I just didn't know if it was already. We're going at it. Cheers to everybody.
Cheers, indeed. Let's blaze up.
Yeah. I'm with you, Guap. I don't know. I don't know too many people else in Illinois who are doing anything like this. He said, I don't know if.
So it's in Madagascar. That's what the CEO said. If you were to go to Madagascar, look at how closely they're tracking vanilla. I think you'd be amazed at the level of sophistication. He said, I don't mean to sound like an idiot, but I didn't know like orchids and vanilla were such high value products. Oh, wait, no, I think that's what the host asked. He said, I don't
Oh,
mean to sound like an idiot. And then he says, yeah, I mean, vanilla is very expensive. The best vanilla in the world is grown in Madagascar. Depending on how much gold is trading, hasn't been this way in a few years, but you used to have a little bit of a competition between Madagascar vanilla on a per ounce basis versus gold.
no way.
Yeah,
Holy cow.
yeah.
That's wild.
So oysters are tracked, I guess. There's traceability with oysters, cows, chickens. Chickens are just the little ringlets on their legs, you know, those cute little rings.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, so he was just talking about like all the different ways in which we kind of have implemented. But the difference here is that a lot of these track and trace things are options you can opt into if you'd like access to those logistics versus in cannabis where it is
A
required,
a mandate. Yeah, yeah,
mandatory.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. No, absolutely. um, yeah, it's wild. I wonder how many people would opt in versus opting out because a lot of them use those data points for sales and other things, right? Like they keep track of their business based off of it. So,
It depends on what you're talking about, I guess, because like if you look at Oklahoma, and I think Davis talked about this, but I've heard about this just from people that I know that work in different seed to sale. Uh, Oklahoma, like there was a big like nobody wanted to get on metric, I guess is my point, and people just like didn't for a while. Like states like, yeah, everybody needs to get on metric, and everybody's like, nah, we're not getting on metric. I think like maybe they're on now, you know, but my memory might be incorrect, but I'm pretty sure this was Oklahoma. That
nice. I think I remember reporting on something like that too.
yeah,
Sounds about right. Oklahoma seems like the fuck you type.
yeah. He said, and Aaron said, and all those grows got shut down.
Did they really? That's wild.
I didn't know that. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
wild.
Oh, yeah. I would imagine there was a compliance time. Getting compliance within a certain time or else.
Well, yeah, and I remember there always being like a deadline looming, but it seemed like it had passed a few times. So I think people started to question how hard it would be. But
Yeah.
how many people have locations turned on their phone? Genetic Memory Farms asks.
Yeah, well, and so the thing is, I often try not to have my location tracked, so I do fucking have some like holdbacks. I don't let Google track my information, but golly, does it break the functionality of some of the things? They make it real difficult sometimes for me to get directions to head somewhere. So, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And I typically don't use maps and shit either. I feel like it's weird. I used to a lot. I just like to go.
They definitely make it inconvenient if you don't opt in,
Yeah. Yeah.
which sounds like the premise of like a futuristic like cyberpunk thriller. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? If you don't opt in,
Yeah.
they're gonna make things very difficult for you.
Yeah. It'll be the prequel to you've talked shit about AI and it's coming for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. How do you feel about AI and shit? We don't ever talk about like life stuff. Are you a fan of the movement coming with AI? You like AI stuff?
I think it's interesting. Um, I mean, I really don't know what to think about it. I know some people are really upset about it, and then other people have told me like every time you run a query, it's like running a light bulb for 8 hours or something like that. And like, I don't know, that's probably true, but I think the same could be said about like our grow setups or like charging your phone. I don't know. I could be wrong. I don't mean to say like two wrongs make a right or anything like that either. But
No.
all I will say is that AI, LLMs, really, from what we've seen, like it is definitely um, amazing, and it makes me question what the government has access to, like what their best LLM, or if they actually have AI, like um but like yeah, I think it's fascinating. I think it's changed the way that like the world works and functions, for better or for worse. There's some really fucked up things with it, there's really great things with it. Like one time I made this like little mini camper, you know
Okay.
uh and I needed to make a bed for the camper because I was like, I can't like figure out a bed, but like, so I asked like AI, it was like Chat GPT. I was like, help me make a bed. And it just walked me through the process of like literally making a bed frame out of like these steel beams I got from like a local hardware store. I had to get this like saw to cut them, but I was able to like like figure out the measurements and all of that stuff. And it's like, dude, I never would have been like, it's not that I couldn't like YouTube that shit or whatever, but like to have all of that curtailed to that one question and have that done like as quickly as I had it done, like it was like, wow, this is nuts. But there's only like specific uses, I think, for it is really what I've learned. It's like a calculator,
Yeah.
you kind of got to check your work sometimes too. You can't lean on it too much. That's the way I look at it. Like it's a really, really awesome tool.
Yeah.
And it's just a matter of time before we have like some sort of headset or something where it's like incorporated all the time and it can give you like feedback and shit.
Yeah.
Um, yeah,
The
it'll be crazy.
I don't know if you've read good old Genetic Memory Farms there or Aaron's last few statements, but uh, I mean, the AI is making us all dumber. S- So too was Google search, though, to a degree, right? Because it's only as dumb as you allow yourself to get with it. But um, yeah, I think that it leans for us to be a little bit less aware of our cognitive strengths and things. I think that there could be some potential harm in it. I had a buddy who I was talking to, and I'm going off the deep end here, but we were talking about humanoid robots and how AI, because people say AI is like a thing, well, it has like tons of different categories to it. But um, robots and humanoid robots, if you were to put the calculators in their brains the way that we think large language models work, they're they're problem solvers. They use the next best possible thing. But um, I started to think about it. It's like, well, they're going to take over the world, right? That's what my buddy was saying. They're going to take over the world. I said, I don't think so. And not in the way that, like, unless they're inherently made for bad, the programmers of these things are programming them to fuck shit up. There's nobody in the world like I think it would bridge the gap between maybe a government telling you that somebody's a terrorist group and the terrorist group trying to fight against a government that has oppressed and suppressed them and turn them into different levels of slaves, right? And if that group, the terrorist group that we consider a terrorist group because we dubbed them that, was able to explain to a humanoid robot that had a processor in its brain that could measure out correctness and to the end of the problem, it would literally go, wait, you have been more oppressed than the other side has been oppressed, and they're oppressing you in these ways, and here's the way to level that out. And I've always thought that like there's a potential that for artificial intelligence in a humanoid robot with some level of empathy, right? Because I think that's what makes them humanoid to begin with, has the potential of all the shit that all of us are mad about, where I could go tell my robot, stupid government, and they're fucking up the power grid and the whatever. I think before we have humanoid robots, maybe they've already figured out the power grids and the shit to begin with. But if we went and told them all of the things that you've been oppressed by, the humanoid robot could theoretically, on your behalf, help bridge the gaps between the oppression at some point, right? Where it at some point, I just for me, it's like, can we stop dropping nuclear bombs and start dropping atomic bongs? You know what I mean? Or like knowledge bombs, if anything, right? Enlightenment, just go to the next level. And I think that some of the computing power has the ability of bridging some of these gaps, right? And like language barrier is a huge one, which these large language models literally that is the bridging gap to these things, right? The
Right.
fact that
That's
we
if you had that in like a pair of sunglasses and you could just talk. And I know there is literally that now. Actually, I'm not going to give the company that's doing it the advertising unless you want to say it. But there, I've seen like a demo of people doing that, and it's like, whoa! If it works the way it's advertised, that's nuts.
yeah. Yeah. And I think we're probably further away from like humanoid robots, but
Nah,
not
dude. You remember those fucking? Let's pull it up right now. Pull it up, Jamie. The
y-
fucking Boston Dynamic. There was like 5 years ago. There's one where he's like hopping around and doing
yeah.
backflips and
Well,
shit. You
listen,
already know. So hold on though. That's a college. That's like a public college, and they share their shit on YouTube. The government has something that can run in there, fucking grab you by the throat, apprehend you, and
yeah.
harvest
Well,
harvest
100%.
your
No, you're a
psychic
thousand
tissue.
percent right. And I mean, I don't mean humanoid in physical structure. Sure, they
Oh,
made
okay,
the
sorry.
parts look
Yeah,
like us,
I get what you're
but
saying.
you plug the brain in, and now this thing becomes partially able to like feel, right? And to actually put some human essence inside of these things. And you're
Can
absolutely
we
right. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm there.
can we put this up without audio and show these people this thing? I think this is well, hold on now. Maybe this isn't very exciting. Let me find an exciting one. I don't want to waste our time.
Oh,
Are we
though,
able to
is it the one where they're like kicking the? Have you seen the one where they kick the thing?
Oh yeah, I love that. I'm joking. I don't like that. I don't like that at all.
Nah.
Uh, oh yeah, dude, you already know that they have one of those dogs that'll just hunt you down, fucking tie your
Oh yeah,
legs.
yeah, yeah. And those dogs are wild, bro.
Hmm.
I don't.
They
Yeah,
deserve to be kicked. No, I'm joking. They don't
yeah,
deserve.
yeah, yeah. Yeah. Okay, you know what though?
I
Can
found
we
it.
get that Melissa McBride in the arms of an angel with some robot dogs, dude? That would be, that's the future.
This was 4 years ago, people, and this was from a a company that's willing to make it public. Can we watch this?
Yeah,
It's just like
we might
1 minute,
disappear. Um, which could be completely okay.
maybe without
Oh, there we go.
audio,
Hold on.
because it doesn't need audio.
All right. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. This thing. Yeah. No, does he do a front flip at the end of this or something? Like a sicko. But dude, that thing is terrifying, kinda.
Yeah, imagine
Oh,
if that thing just fucking turned around, started running at you.
Oh, yeah, I don't know. Dude, it's already faster than me. I haven't even watched it all the way, but it's
Pretty
already
agile.
faster than I
It's
am.
pretty agile too.
Yeah.
I mean, it's more agile than some people that I know.
Yeah. See, dude,
Some people that I know.
do a flip. No
Or
way.
just jumping up onto those platforms. Just simply jumping up onto those platforms.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like some people literally can't do that.
No, yeah, 100%.
That I know, I mean to say.
Right.
I'm not trying to paint with a broad brush. I'm just giving my anecdotal experience.
Right. Hold on. What do we got here from WAP? We got another one? Uh, Children remember the promise of tomorrow. Science fiction. Hold on. Let's bring this over. We can watch this for a second. Our journey. Oh, here we go.
Here we go.
Yeah. Yeah,
Same
yeah,
thing
yeah.
again.
Some of them are a little, and yeah, Boston Dynamics, they got yeah, that dog thing is a nope. That's a big nope. Yeah, wild. Let's see, we'll come back here.
Did
Yeah,
you see
I
that
will,
one guy can run at
oh,
25 miles an hour? 25 miles an hour.
yeah,
I
fuck
mean,
that. How fast is Usain Bolt running?
not that fast.
Is this,
At least at a consistent pace, you know.
I think, yeah, yeah, I think he, like, max speeds at, like, 31 or maybe it's 28. It's like 28 to 31. It's something crazy. How fast does Usain Bolt run? 27.8 to 28.45 miles per hour.
But see, what did he used to run? He ran a between 60 and 70 meters. That was a maximum speed.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, sorry. Well,
He-
I don't know what he ran, but my point is I bet you that thing can go for like 10 minutes at 25 miles an hour consistently. Cruise control. You know, it's going to get your ass.
yeah. Yeah. Kind of terrifying.
And they've got the flying ones that can go like fucking 60 to 70 miles an hour. So, there's that too.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen a drone show?
No.
It's like, dude, if you get the opportunity, I
I
hope
would
you do
love
it.
to.
And I hope you think of me, Dave, because it was crazy when I went to this one. And it wasn't just because I was high. So the University of Illinois hosted one, and it was so cool. I can't even put it into words, so I'll keep it short. Like the I for Illinois, for
Yes.
the University of Illinois, it was floating in the fucking sky.
Yeah.
I was like wondering like if people were driving by on the interstate, they're like, what the fuck is that? Because there was literally sometimes where they like it made it look like there was a spaceship in the sky.
Yeah.
Like legit, if you're driving on the fucking interstate and look over and see that shit, you'd be like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. And you didn't know what was going on? Yeah.
oh yeah, yeah. If you didn't know what was going on, but the thing I was thinking about is there was an eerie feeling when I realized that all these things were moving in unison, like synchronized. And I was just thinking, what if that swarm just like came at me? And I was like, that's a scary thought. But anyways,
Yeah. With a little
because they're moving
C4
in
attached
such
to it or
right, exactly, and they're moving
oh,
in such like coordinated, clear paths,
yeah.
not running into each other at all.
Um
Yeah, crazy.
yeah. Yeah.
Anyways, didn't mean to make it dark. If you want to keep it fun and light, what do you think about UAPs? Since we were talking about like crazy, like humanoid stuff. What do you
What's
think
a
about the UAPs?
UAP?
You don't know about the UAPs, bro? Dave, I'm about to send you down a internet rabbit hole. You've not heard about it's basically like UFOs, like the new UFO. That's what they call UFOs now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Is that the in Utah they got them in the at the what do you call them? Um, the
Well, a lot of
towers.
armed service people see it in the ocean, or if they're flying.
Oh,
Pilots report seeing them a lot too. Commercial pilots.
oh,
And
yeah,
so this is finally like a disclosure program, and
yeah.
yeah, it's crazy.
I'm not against um things, but I'm like a gotta see it to believe it type. You know, I'm down to be able to prove it through like science and mathematics at times, where like, okay, I don't necessarily have to see a black hole to know what a black hole is according to mathematics and science, but
So have you seen the there's like FLIR footage that was released. It was called the I'll have to look it up. But the point is that this object we were tracking, so when you speak of science and seeing something, like an armed service member explained this, and he's basically saying there's nothing that flies that this thing can't keep track of,
yes.
and this thing loses track of it. And the other thing is like the way that it displays. I'll pull it up here in a second.
Yeah, I think there was one of I remember hearing, and this might have been a UFO and not a UAP, but something that went from like 80,000 feet in the air to 50 feet on the ground or something like that. And um now that I'm thinking about it, this might have been a conversation of Joe Rogan and Neil deGrasse, I think.
Prob Sounds about right, maybe.
Really ringing in my ears that that might be the truth. But
Yeah.
yeah, no, it's wild. I'm I'm super for I would love if there was like in contact or on Earth extraterrestrial being. I would be into that. Shit that is better than a humanoid and not better by, you know, foo standard, but like just in output standards, the bigger minds, more capabilities, movement capability, like superhero type shit. Like that would be cool. I think I'm fully into it. Um, but I think that that takes me like to start believing in it would take me eating a fuck ton of drugs, dude. And like, yeah.
It's just fun. I don't know that I believe in it. It's just a really fun thing to because it's like it for me. It's like thinking about space, but taking it a step further, and like what it would require to traverse space. And if these things they're saying is true, they are true. Um, the reason it's not called a UFO anymore, it's called UAP, is because some of the footage they have is these craft going in and out of water, but like not changing speed at all, like as if it's unaffected,
Oh.
which means it's moving through the fourth dimension. It's unaffected by time and space. This
Oh.
is where it gets trippy, right?
I
Like
like
I said,
that.
I don't know that I believe in it, but it's fun and it's trippy to think about because it's like I told somebody one time when I did mushrooms, I was like, I understand now how to use gravity as a source of propulsion to go through the fourth dimension. You know what I mean? And I
Yeah.
did. I should have written it down. I should
Well,
have written it down.
me and a friend were
Filled time. Anyways, though.
yeah, no, well, dude, to me and a friend were eating some acid one time, trying to explain how all you needed to do really was to remove the brain with the central nervous system and be able to put that into a different body, and then theoretically you would take the full essence of who that person is. So we were confident that in no time they would just be able to preserve our brains and spinal columns and shove us into robots and stuff, and that we would be able to live the conscious life for a substantially longer time than our physical bodies allow us to. And boy, we talked about this shit like we already knew it was happening, like we knew how to do it. And we kept I remember this like thought and this like vividness of like how you would have to like pull the thing out. Like it was just like a perfectly fit in there and you just kind of extract it. I don't know. Yeah, I feel you, dude. Drugs do make your mind think some wild shit. Like about the fourth dimension.
Yeah, yeah. You start believing in yourself, like you figured something out.
Yeah.
And I say that jokingly. I didn't actually think that I was just. It's fun, you know.
Yeah, and I mean, some of what's going on here too in the chats. Holy twist, our lady, hello, Cage knocked and gaming. What's up? What's up? Um, like Shy
I
Town
can read.
saying here though.
I can read Aaron's comment when you're ready for me.
What's that?
I can read Aaron's comment when you're ready for me. I've got it. I can even say it the way it's supposed to be read.
Yeah, go ahead.
I like turtles.
Yeah. Donuts. Yeah.
And there are two more clips for Aaron.
Yeah. But yeah, dude, there's I don't think that we are the only intelligent creature in space as we know space. For the observable universe. And I don't know, have you ever looked in a telescope?
Yes, it's crazy.
Yeah. Like in a good telescope, not one that just sees the moon real well, but
Yeah.
you ever
Have you ever seen
seen
the sky without light pollution?
yeah. Yeah.
That shit's nuts.
It's
Like,
kind of it made my heart sink a little bit the first time, to be honest with you, where you can almost see the galactic belt and how that all looks. Um, I was on a uh oh, what the fuck was it called? Um, we were in the Upper Peninsula and we were on a lighthouse. We did a B&B in a fucking lighthouse, and they allowed you to go outside on the fucking roof whenever you wanted to. And there was like a meteor shower that was happening, and dude, I remember looking at the sky for a minute and feeling so fucking tiny, dude. That like I grabbed the floor and I was like, you know what? I gotta go back inside. Like this is fucking my brain up so much to think about how far away that light is traveling from, and then how tiny we might be in the ocean of light out there.
yeah,
Yeah.
dude. It's like you're looking out our windshield
Yeah.
because we forget sometimes we're just, on a rock and we got that windshield, like basically got a little shield from
Yeah.
everything else that's fucking going on out there.
Have you seen the eclipse? Did you ever get to see the full eclipse?
Dude, it was nuts. It
I
was it was nuts. I'm so glad I went and saw it.
yeah,
I
I went to
smoked
both
weed
of
while I
them.
watched it too.
Yes. I went to both of them in totality, that have gone on in my lifetime. And the most recent one, there was a little bit of cloud cover. So it wasn't as maybe spectacular. And I don't want to say that it wasn't, because to still be able to see what was going on was there. But the dancing, dude, of the fucking corona and the fucking everything oh,
Dude, it was nuts. I'm so glad I saw that. I went down to I rode a motorcycle down to Kentucky that day. Hold on, wait a minute. Tennessee, I mean. Well, no, Missouri. It was like all the way down there. I found like a really good place where it was going to be clear and totality, and it was next to a pond. Could probably figure out exactly where it was because I took pictures. But anyways, um, the it was nuts. It was absolutely nuts.
yeah, in the most recent one or the
Yeah, so I didn't get
15,
to
20
see
years ago?
the other one that you're referring to. I went to the one on April 8th, 2024.
Okay.
So
Yeah. Yeah. There was one, it had to be then 7 years prior to that, or, because that's when it happens, right? It's on a 7 year cycle or something. Anyway, it went to the other one that was out there in my lifetime. And, bro, like I said, I mean, even up until totality, right? Like there's this coolness. Okay, I'm wearing my little sunglasses and I'm checking out the sun, and okay, it's been pretty much all the way covered. And even when it's like 99.9% covered, still really neat to fucking see. But during 100% totality, when the coronal bursts are dancing around and you're looking at yeah, look at that guy. Um, bingo bango. Yeah. Dude, there's something about it that just doesn't. I don't know how to explain. When you can take the glasses off and you can look at the sun and you see that it's not yellow and it's not orange, but it's white, and that because of the reflection of our atmosphere and everything, it blocks out the fact that we are looking past dark, empty space all the time. And it's just that sun and how it reflects and everything. But when it was doing, oh man, you want to talk about like, it was nice.
It was crazy, man. Like, I can't imagine what it was like. First of all, I can't imagine what it was like for the first person that got high and didn't know they were about to get high. I also wonder about the first person that saw a solar eclipse and did not know. And I know everybody has probably asked the same question, both of those same questions. But how somebody felt when they first saw a solar eclipse and didn't know it was going to happen. You know, you're like,
Yeah.
what the fuck is going on?
Yeah. Well,
You know,
and I think if I'm not wrong, they used to use it as a way because people knew the timing of things back in the day. They used to use it as a way of taking advantage of other like populations and stuff. And they would say like they would use a lot of religious connotation to make people believe that their the rapture was coming and crazy shit was going to happen to them, and you would see the real fury of who the gods are, whatever. And dude, like seeing that shit, I could only imagine if you didn't know what the fuck was coming and it was the first time you saw a totality. Like what? Oh my god. So wild.
be nuts.
Yeah.
Be nuts.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it was Neil deGrasse too that was talking about it too. Or maybe it might have been another, but the fact that this even happens, okay? The fact that the moon is the perfect distance to block out the sun perfectly. So all we see is its corona dancing is like the math behind that occurring is so astronomical that like even if you did it over all the galaxies in the entire observable universe, the plausibility of it happening is like maybe 5 times over or something like that according to the what we know of space and time. And like he said that if there was a creature that was smart enough to actually be able to move through space the way that we think aliens could or whatever, that they would travel to Earth to specifically see this event happen. And like the for those who haven't seen it, like it is that spectacular of a thing. It is that um
That's what I kind of
grounding and yeah.
that's what kind of what I like about the some of the lore behind all the UAP stuff that we were talking about. It's that they showed up when we first developed speaking of atomic bomb, when when we developed the other thing that the actual atomic bomb. That's
Yeah.
when all the sightings started, and then now they're saying they're starting again, maybe because dude, this ties it all together. Maybe they're coming back. People say not only because of the threat of atomic bombs, still because of people being crazy and stuff, but also AI.
Oh,
Boom, we tied it all together.
dude. Happy Thursday.
But we just rolled it up, and now it's time to smoke it.
That's awesome. We've got the Earth is flat. Come on. The stars you wished on are dead like your dreams. That's
Oh, snap.
oh, some savageness. Yeah. Now I just think that all those stars no longer exist. It's just the last bits of the energy still moving through space instead. Yeah. It posted 4 in the chat. Oh, little IV. And then Genetic Memory Farm said that a Connecticut Yankee in King Arthur's Court by Mark Twain, main character makes them think he is magic with an eclipse.
Oh, fuck.
See
That's a
what I'm
good way
saying?
to do it.
Yeah. I promise you I ain't never read no Mark Twain, but yeah, the story's made it somewhere.
Between you and me, I don't think I've
Yeah.
that was a reach, sorry. I don't think I've ever read Mark Twain either. I'm not sure. Maybe though.
No, I say that because I can confidently tell you I don't read it as much as I should. I know reading's a good thing to do. I listen to audiobooks. I don't know how interchangeable that is. I guess if the message getting delivered.
Look, I think audiobooks are just as good. Well, I was just about to say, like what are blind people supposed to do? But I think blind people also can read with Braille.
Braille.
But
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
I feel like your access is extremely limited if all you do is read
Yeah.
Braille, unless there's some sort of like electronic device that can like
Oh,
is there?
I
That's
don't
a
know.
question for the
That
chat. I've always wondered that, like how that would even work. I feel like it would have to be like a piece of rubber with like a bunch of different like little, squares so that you could like push up through the rubber so you could run your fingers
they
across
got
it.
if they haven't made that, that's what they should use some of
If
this
they
AI power
haven't,
for.
now they're going to. And again, we're giving out ideas for free on this
Yeah, and
chat.
fucking cooking with Cresco, dude. Yeah. God damn. Um
We're solving problems tonight, Dave.
well, dude, that's what I'm saying. I was telling people the other day. They said what they were asking me what I've been up to, and I said, just I haven't been able to find employment, whatever. And they're like, oh, okay, we were talking about. I said, but I still have all my time, right? Like, I might not have a lot of money. I'm not what I heard, whatever, but I got all my time. They said, what have you been doing with all your time? I said, we've been trying to figure out how to take over the world, man. We're pinky in the brain in this shit. We're just really spitballing ideas until one of them suckers really sticks. And then when it does, that's we're set. Game, set, match. I mean, we brought up two of them tonight. You've brought up two of them. You're solving problems.
It's been fun though. It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Apparently there are Braille printers and there are Braille typewriters, so
Okay.
I mean, I guess, yeah, maybe we didn't solve that problem. Somebody else already did, but we tried. And that's what the thought is what counts.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're
I've
sitting
been
here trying to, anyway, sorry.
no, you're
I'm
I
just
have
trying to
been
be
I'm gonna jump back on the book side of things real quick because
go
I
ahead.
have been listening to an audiobook that I think if I'm not wrong, do you know the book Sapien or Sapiens? Um
I don't know that I'm familiar with it. No.
for people out there in the chat, they might know what it is, but I haven't read Sapiens through. I kind of have the overall view of what it is. And it's talking about like the evolution pretty much of Homo sapiens and how we came to be humans. And the book that I'm reading right now is called I think it's like Homo Do, so like part 2 of the Homo sapien instead. And it was talking about how like um I don't even know why I'm talking about this outside of I'm listening to it right now, but it's really neat to hear how like, 50 years ago, famine killed more people, and now in the current day, eating too much food is killing more people than famine, right? Like we've made some problems for ourselves that like we've solved some problems, right? Like um smallpox, there was an eradication of smallpox. Ebola came and went really quick. So infectious disease has come and gone really fast. And we've been able to combat infectious disease at a quicker rate than before. Um, but no, it's really thought provoking and a very interesting thing. And if anybody out there wants to read a book or hear an audio book that's worth a damn, I promise you, this thing has captivated me. I'm probably 7 hours into it, and I've just got it yesterday. So
I want to listen. You've inspired me now. I want to listen. I know I'll check out that book as well, but I also was like, man, I kind of want to hear because I was taught about it, but I've never actually read it. Charles Darwin's book on the
oh,
origin
the
of
Darwin Award
species. Well, not the Darwin Awards, but
or Charles Darwin's actual fucking writing. You gotta
yeah,
listen to the
yeah,
Darwin
where he
Awards too.
proposed, where he basically it's his foundational work of evolutionary biology, and so
Oh,
it was
nice.
published in 1859, And like I said, I was taught it because I was taught evolution, and that's where he kind of put it forth or whatever. But yeah, I've never actually read it, so I'm like, now you got me thinking like maybe if I can find an audiobook of On the Origin of Species, a book from 1859, I will listen to it.
Nice. I like that.
And I'll have to check out that other book, Sapien. You said
Origin of species, yeah, sapien, and then Homo Deus,
Homo Do.
Deus, yeah. Good stuff.
I will say that the oh something else popped up, but yeah, interesting. I'll have to look into this.
Um, Pinky was dead and Brain was hallucinating, trying to save his friend every day. What? Dude, Guap, you're ruining my childhood right now. What are you talking about? Is that real? I mean, you're not ruining anything. That's crazy as hell. I didn't know that. You know what's real messed up? If you go back and watch some of the stuff that we watched as children, but didn't know what the hell was going on, like Rocco's Modern Life, that's one of them. If you go watch it now, you're gonna be like, "What the was I entertained by? And why would anybody allow me to do this?" What- Yeah, it's wild.
That's funny. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I grew up on like SpongeBob and stuff like that, so I don't know.
Yeah. All right. I like SpongeBob. How old are you, Cole?
I don't know. Never been asked that question on podcast.
All right.
I'll tell you sometime.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know.
You, I, my
I want to see what people
guesstimation
get.
is it's you're probably like 5-ish, maybe years younger than me, maybe 7. All right, that's my guesstimation, and you might be even younger than that. But I was watching a lot of like SpongeBob and shit growing up too, so it's not like
Yeah,
I was too far away.
for sure.
Yeah,
Um, but yeah, I mean, TV is wild for sure. Cause like there was like MTV and um HBO, like wild stuff on that all the time. Jackass.
yeah. I mean, yeah. Did you ever have the cable where it showed like the blurriness and there was like the lines running through it, but you could every once in a while see if you were watching it past 11 o'clock, like a boob would flash through the little graininess on the screen.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the advertisements for those those types of movies back in the day.
Oh
They're
yeah, yeah.
they're
Well,
really
no,
there's this one that I can specifically remember. It was Girls Gone Wild.
oh
Everybody's heard
yeah,
of that. There's like a whole documentary about how that was like, of course,
yeah.
very exploitive, and but we don't have to get into that. It's another
No, yeah,
sad
but
subject. But it's like these are the things that were on TV back in the day. Is why I bring it up.
yeah. Right after I think maybe it was Howard Stern. Sue's Sex Talk would come on out there. I don't know if you remember Sue's Sex Talks though.
Sue's Sex Talks. I don't know if I remembered that.
Oh my god.
Hmm.
Uh, Dude, it was like some very older lady. Looked like she might have been a nun at some point in her life, but she was the opposite of a nun because
I'm
she was
afraid to
like,
Google this.
yeah, do it right now. She would take like little wooden dolls and like scissor them together, and like it was like wild, bro. Yeah.
Oh, folks.
Canadian sex expert. Genetic knows about it. What's up, Twisted?
She's a Canadian, pioneering Canadian nurse,
Sue
sexual
Johansson. That's her. Oh,
broadcaster known for her candid, non-judgmental approach to sexual health on TV and radio.
it
Good
was
for her.
wild.
That's awesome.
Yeah. That show was on every night of the week. You had to get past like maybe 10 o'clock at night.
Interesting.
Yeah.
This is history I was not aware of.
That's what I'm saying, dude. There's some shit that's gone on, I think back in my life and I was like, man, why was I exposed to or watching this shit to begin with?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It made you into the person that you are.
Yeah. Yeah. For better or for worse. Either way.
For better or for worse.
Yeah.
That's funny.
He said, I
Yeah.
ain't never gonna stop watching sex talks with Sue. Yeah, I'm with it. That's hilarious. What's up, Twisted? How are you?
I wonder if they like sell that. It's like on DVD or something like that, like season 1 through whatever of
Dude,
there's gotta be like
DVDs.
there's
You're
gotta
really
be like
showing your age now, Cole. Settle
yeah,
down.
there's gotta be like an IMDb for
Cole, do
Sue
you
Johansson.
do you know what a rewind fee is?
Yes.
Okay, good. There's a generation right here that we are living within that don't know what the fuck rewind fee.
Well, we're showing our age.
Yeah.
You're like, I didn't answer your question earlier. Now here it goes. I'm like answering it in a different
Yeah,
way.
100%. In the last dispensary I worked at, what up, Mr. Rourke? At the last dispensary I worked at, we were talking about this specifically. I said, everybody was like, oh, do you remember this from back in the day? And like, I'm listening to children talk about shit that really isn't back in the day. And I started to feel aged at this point. And I asked them if they knew what a rewind fee was. And they were like, no, what's that? And then, yeah, be kind, rewind. Or you get charged a fucking fine for that shit, dude. Yeah, the fee. But anyway, somebody brought up Michael Jackson and a kid blank faced. And we were like, wait a minute. You don't know who Michael Jackson is? And they were like, I mean, I don't know. Did they play sports or something? And then we all laughed and we were like, shut the fuck up. There's no way that we're this disconnected. Or you've lived under a rock for that fucking long in your life. You don't know who Michael Jackson is, dude. But they're children.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's that's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, somebody damn it, Chi-Town Hi-Fi. They said you're old when you realize 20 years ago isn't the 90s.
Yeah.
That's we gotta move on. We gotta move on. This show is brought to you by
Some aged fellows. Geritol. Oh, jeez Christ. Yeah, no.
This show is brought to you by cannabis. It's the only way it keeps us running.
Fueled by sour diesel. Margarine and SFVOG Kush, actually.
Bro, what do you oh man, I think I already talked to you about it. Did I talk to you already about the hemp drinks being at the United Center, or is it on
Yeah,
tomorrow's?
yep. We did
There
have.
is- Yeah.
I was talking to somebody else here recently who was talking about package size again, or like dosing of the thing, because like each container, according to like the federal standards of things, can only have what, 4 milligrams per container or
Point
unit or
four.
0.4. Is it 0.4 or 4? 0.4.
Point four.
Now,
Yeah,
is
the
that
point is so that
percentage or
No, it's literally it's 0.4 milligrams of
milligrams?
Yep.
Because when I was talking to them, they said, okay, so who's to say that 0.4 milligrams, the container for it isn't like one shot of something, right? Like less than an ounce, okay? And then you have the ability to like, let's say like you go to like a fucking show like this, like a United Center or a bigger fucking sporting event, and they give you a glass of something and they can put, you know, 10 doses worth into 1 cup or whatever the fuck it is, or you get like the big gulp of it, but like each time they hit the pump, it only does the point 0.4 milligrams
I see what you're saying, but
because
that's yeah, yeah, I see what you're saying, but I think there's gonna be there's just gonna be a beverage carve out, and it's gonna be probably, unfortunately, in my opinion, it's gonna be like 5 to 10 milligrams, which I say unfortunately because I want it to be like 50 to 100 to 200. I don't think there should be a cap, frankly, but like I just want it to be more than like 5 to 10 is really my point. Like if we're talking 20, 25 or whatever, now we're cooking with Cresco, right? But just to be try to be
yeah,
fun, but like I don't know, you get my point. Like
yes.
I just but and I'll pass back to you. I'll keep it brief. Like if we did get a 5 to 10 milligram cap codified, which again I think we will, at least if not more for beverage, and perhaps even edible, to be completely honest. If people start consuming those regularly, it will quickly become like these fucking caps are ridiculous. So like maybe the problem will just work itself out, but I don't know.
Yeah, but
I don't know.
what to the lines of what me and buddies were talking about was if it is a per package limitation, then do I just have to open more packages and put them into 1 cup so that I can have the effective dose that I'm looking for? Because if you want 50 milligrams, you just take 5 of the 10 milligram drinks and put them into 1 cup. And if the drinks that you're putting them into are 1 ounce a piece or 2 ounces a piece, now we
I
have
see what you're
a
saying. You make like a five, like if it was a 5 or a 10, you could make little shots of
correct.
10.
Correct.
I see what you're saying, but
Because for
um,
distribution purposes, you can only
sure,
sell 5 at a time, but
that's a good
you as
point.
the individual don't have a consumption limit, and you could go theoretically break open all the packaging and pour it into 1 cup, which then at the same rate, could a venue, like all of these places that already have something, because they're willing to push the limits to begin with and do the thing as long as there's
But see, that's pushing the limits, I think, in a different way, in a way that it would just. I'm not saying it's not okay. Don't misunderstand me. But I think like what I'm discussing, like a 30 to 50 milligram, is something that you and I would really find fun. But I don't know if a venue is willing to, because candidly, I think the United Center, the thing that they mentioned specifically was that they are only carrying the 5 and 10. Senorita just announced a 30 milligram drink, which
okay.
I'm not going to buy. I don't know that I would buy Senoritas because I get the can trips or whatever. But
Yeah.
uh, the fact that they are offering a higher dose, that's pretty cool. Because I tweeted Ben Kovler once, and I was like, "Are you ever going to offer a higher dose?" And he just replied, "Find your rhythm." And what's interesting is that they rolled out a rhythm line that
Had the
is for their
higher
hemp drinks, yeah, with
yeah,
the higher dose,
yeah.
yeah. So,
Well, and that's
but to your point, I didn't mean to go ramble so long. To your point, the United Center is only doing the 5 and 10s right now. They might do the 30s in the future, perhaps, but that's the press how the press release at least reads.
so
It's
then
just
in
the
the
hemp
same
tens.
way, if you could go into the United Center and get a double shot of JMO with in a Coke, could you get a double Senorita on ice, right? Where we have the ability to take multiple containers of it and get the same thing out of
Probably,
it. And
probably, yeah.
would the people who are in the hemp industry be missing a market by not allowing for the smaller packaging to allow somebody like you or I to increase our dosage, right? So I'm not going to go to the thing and buy the drinks that are 5 milligrams a piece if I'm being limited, and I have to have 10 of them to feel what I want in one drink,
Right,
right?
right.
And then if I'm willing to drink 3 or 4 of the 50s, now we're talking about 40 beverages to get to that point and the cost and everything. Like, it just seems silly as hell. Like,
Exactly, though. My point, I guess, is that I think that day will come sooner. That day that you're describing will come sooner for everybody. Like in terms of this is ridiculous, that thought that you just had. That will come if we can, like if we do see a 5 to 10 milligram like dosage codified, because people will start consuming them regularly, and within like 2 weeks they're gonna be like, these fucking things ain't working anymore. Or I gotta drink so fucking many of them so quickly.
yeah, but you're gonna get one fucking Karen who has a bad experience and then blames the potency of it. And it's not because she doesn't understand that she's consuming THC or, well,
Sure.
everybody here was doing it and they were just knocking them back like crazy. And now I'm passed out in the seats, drooling on myself, right? And it's because of, like, it's the same thing with alcohol. Like,
That's what I was just about to say. I mean, at a certain point, we can't continue to um, treat cannabis like. I mean, this is the thing. You can take enough cannabis to put yourself in a less than ideal situation, let's just say. And but you can do the same, like you said, with alcohol. And we just have to like figure out how to traverse society with all of that in mind. you know.
yeah,
And I know that was a very neutral and agreeable statement, but like it's true. Like, and I don't know like why that gets lost in the media and in the general conversation in society when it's cannabis. It's like, oh, it's crazy. Like, like the little articles you see of like kids that eat edibles. It's like, bro, kids drink and do prescription drugs too. And I'm not saying that any of it is okay for kids to do per se. Like I'm not saying I didn't do it, but you get what I'm saying. I'm not like endorsing kids doing anything, any adults trying. Like it's adults when you make that decision is my point. And so sorry, I'm high, and I forgot kind of where I was going about. Oh, yeah, just the double standard of like how people talk about incidents when like somebody, whether it be an adult or a child, has a bad experience with cannabis versus alcohol. It's like it's just treated so much differently, and it's crazy.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, 100%. And I respect what you're saying too. I
Like when
obviously
somebody's
I
puking their brains out on alcohol, I'll put it like 15 seconds. When somebody's puking their brains out on alcohol and like hugging the toilet and like having a really, really bad experience, wake up with a headache, people like laugh about it. It's like, oh, you drank too much.
yeah, yep,
And
yep,
that's like a really, really unhealthy reaction. And I'm not
yes.
saying you can't throw up from weed either, but you get my point.
Yeah, 100%. No, and I think you nailed it too. It is still the stigma of it that comes into play way more than like the actual effects of it. At least from when I say the Karens of the world who are going to continually be the reason why there will be limitations against um packaging size. But that's what, like, my whole point is, even if you win and make less packaging size, like, you can still get the job done. It's the same thing, like, does the size of the magazine matter, right? Like, I don't know, like, it's all the intent of what you're trying to get done.
Yeah, and all I'm saying is just it seems like a lot of these companies are just like the way they look at a ban as if it goes through. I get what you're saying. It's a really good point that I never really thought of. And maybe that's where we'll see innovation just like we did with what they're calling hemp 2.0, which is the current iteration of hemp, if you will. Um, hemp 3.0 is apparently, if that comes to pass this coming November, that'll be that zero point 0.4 milligram thing. If no amendments, modify the definition of hemp.
Yeah.
Um, I am so tired of the whole. I just wish hemp literally we just erased it from the law because it's an arbitrary term that has no business being
Yeah.
in the law.
Yeah.
It should be like, I think it's type. I'm gonna Google it because every time I bring this up, I think about it. Pretty sure it's type 3 cannabis is really what we should call it. What we should call it. Yeah, I guess. No, maybe not type 3. Maybe it's type 4. We're gonna figure it out. But I wish we could stop calling it hemp. Nope, type 4 is predominantly CBG.
Yeah.
I'm just like, I know what people mean when they say hemp, but
Yeah, but I think when I listen to people talk about hemp, that they want to desperately
it is type 3. The
yeah,
fiber or non-drug
bingo.
type.
That's literally the word that I was going to use was the fibrous textile
Yeah.
thing that we use this thing for to make paper and uh you know quality proteins for feed and yes, I understand that, but um yeah, I'm with you. I think that changing a lot of the naming convention around this plant would make it a lot easier to um at least genuinely decriminalize the thing.
Yeah. Like, I don't know. If people really are that upset about how I don't know. I just feel like type 3 cannabis, that's the way that it should be called in the law instead of it being called hemp, because that's what I think people think it means, you know. But what it meant in practice was descheduled cannabis, and that's why I loved it, you know.
Yeah, yeah,
But I
100%.
could go on that whole rant. I won't. I'll save everybody the breath.
Yeah,
Save myself the breath.
yeah. But I'm a big fan of all the people who, for a lack of better terms, exploited the misinterpretation of the plant. And when laws are nothing more than interpretations of words, um, it's open for interpretation. And, according to what the hemp law says, is cannabis sativa L, which is the same thing that we have in recreational and medical cannabis markets. So it's not like some vastly different thing. But
Yeah.
that's it. Guapo nailed it. They made it that way, not us. And that's it. As us, all we are supposed to do is make the interpretations, right? We're supposed to fucking figure out what these things say. And yeah, while it's still interpretable, bingo bingo. Wait, what? Are y'all trying to say the male version of a Karen is a Dave? I don't know what's happening there. I think Chad works better, um but I do like what Genetic Memory Farm says here, or we treat cannabis like a supplement and regulate very lightly because the effect of too much is feeling sleepy, not depression, respiration toxicity, liver damage like alcohol. It isn't alcohol. And that's 1000%. It's not alcohol. It sucks that there is still that correlation between the two where they say, okay, alcohol and cannabis kind of fall in some lumped in categories. It's definitely not. So I'm with you. I will back you in your sayings there. um, but John says, how the hell are they going to track anything in the future too? How the fuck are you going to track how much each one of us individually has consumed as far as these hemp drinks go? Um, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Good perspectives on some of this stuff. And Gare Bear, good night, bro. Thanks for coming in here. Go enjoy counting sheep, he says. You can smoke too. Oh, god damn it, Guapo. Why you gotta talk about flock, bro? We're gonna jump off the deep end. I'm gonna need to build a hat out of tinfoil here in a minute. Although I do fuck flock. Yeah. And I don't even mind being on camera. Y'all can see that right now. But the wrong camera. No, they ain't tracking us through Flock. You got to move, Goofy.
You gotta walk like a goose.
Yeah,
You gotta walk like you're in a gaggle.
I did hear one time though that is it called a gait? The way that you walk?
Yeah.
Okay.
GIT.
Yeah. Our gaits are as individual to us as like our thumbprints.
For sure.
So it's hard for you to like, you gotta like fake the fucking cameras out. Yeah. Yeah. Thanks, y'all. Yeah.
You gotta walk with a pimp limp.
Oh, I already do, so I'm gonna have to walk without a pimp.
Oh snap. You have to drop the pimp limp.
Do you remember the days of everybody walking with pimp limps, fucking Cole? What's good? And people sagging their pants like crazy?
Yeah, I always thought that was really cool, honestly.
Back in the day.
Yeah, dude.
Until you found out that it meant like in prison, you were giving yourself up. You were
I
willing to.
guess. I was told that, but I always thought it looked cool.
You sagged it up still?
I didn't personally,
Okay.
but I thought that people that did it, I thought it looked so cool. But that was just, I don't know, that's how I felt in my younger days.
Yeah. Yeah. I respect that.
Now I understand practically, like when I like how do you walk around like that? But you know, um, it is what it is. Fashion is something that is not to be understood. It is to be looked at and admired. I
Yeah, I
guess,
respect
right?
that. And it's very individually, it should be individually
Some fashion's
satisfying.
downright strange. You know, like literally the catwalk stuff where it's like nobody would ever wear that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. A
I'm like,
swan wrapped around you and shit.
I'm
Yeah.
literally thinking of like the scene in White Chicks. Yeah,
Oh, yeah. Touche. All right.
you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I
The
do.
Wayans brothers. Yeah.
Yeah. I do like, yeah.
I actually did a podcast one time. It's called the Lost and Faded podcast. That's another person out of Illinois. Damn it. I forgot to say that earlier. He does like a movie podcast. It's super cool and like you watch movies and get high and then talk about them. And so we watched White Chicks and then talked about it. And it was
That's
fun.
awesome. Yeah. Do you know what Mystery Theater 3000 is?
No.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I feel like.
Is it like a site that you can stream movies for free or something?
Oh, that was downright fun. That was cute, dude. That was fun. Mystery Theater 3000 was they used to show movies and then it looked like a panel of like robots and shit all fucking sitting in front of the movies talking about the movie while it was going on. It was like, yeah, it was great. It was great. After you get off the stream tonight, you should go look at some old Mystery Theater 3000.
Mystery Theater 3000.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Twisted Art Lady asked, "Who is this guy?" Laughing my ass.
Twisted, this is Cole. He's the man with the plan. He's
No, I
uh
like keeping it at that. Who is this guy?
yeah.
No, you. Sorry, I don't mean to catch you. off.
Yeah, the GOAT, the GOAT. um, and games come about. They were here last week, and they might happen later. But sometimes we got to be serious, man. Me and Cole over here, we're trying to fucking solve the world's problems, and we've done a good job of it tonight. We got a few really good points figured out.
Straight up.
I'm in triangle pants. Oh, you boys, dude. I like, I'm never one to like pick up inside jokes, dude. I'm the slowest sometimes to make it happen. Uh, Actually, Biz told me a fucking joke. My buddy Biz that was on here earlier. He told me a joke earlier, and it took me so long to figure it out. And he was like, "I'm not even gonna say anything. I'll repeat the joke if you'd like me to." I said, "Dude, I just don't get it." And I guess I can share it. He said, "What does an Asian man with an erection do?" And maybe that was how it went. I said, "I don't know. What the fuck are you talking about?" He said, "He votes." And I was like, "What the fuck does that have anything to do with anything?" But then, like, Asian people are bad at saying L's, and they say it with an R instead. So, like, free Riri, election would be erection. So then I laughed my ass off. I'm sorry I had to explain it like we were children again, but I laughed so fucking hard. And he was like, "There you go, bud. Way to let that one settle in." All right. I just don't know a lot of shit. Oh, Twisted Art, this is the man with the plan. That's him.
OMG, I never met a man with a plan. That's funny.
That's him.
She's low key just dissing on all of us men. I'm just joking. I'm just
Yeah.
joking.
Yeah. uh Genetic Memory Farm says the Mystery Theater 3000 has a channel where they are on loop all the time. Samsung TV, YouTube, and Roku, etc. Damn, that is fucking awesome.
Well, goddamn.
Tower General. I don't know how to do it. It's a hard one. Tower General. I'm not good at making accents either. You got any accent skills? Can you do any impersonations?
Um, no,
No.
I can't.
No.
I can't. I can't. Yeah, I've always wanted to be able to do like an Australian accent.
Yeah, okay.
I really like Australian accents.
Yeah.
If somebody talks to me in an Australian accent, doesn't matter if they're a man or a woman. I'm like, doesn't matter if they're like not even attractive. I'm
I'm gonna
like,
tell you what, I like when they say cunt a lot, to be honest with
yeah, you fucking cunt.
you. Yeah.
Yeah,
It
there you
does
go.
yeah, it's kinda nice.
Yeah, fucking. Yeah, they kind of like
Yeah.
really.
Do they also
That's the way
call
to
people
kind of
cheeky? Is that
you
or is that more like a
cheeky.
British thing?
I feel like that's a British thing, but I don't know. They might be calling us cheeky cunts right now because we don't know
Yeah.
the Australians.
Ah.
I've got some contacts in Australia. I need to follow up with them. It's the timing is rough to work out, as you might imagine, but be interesting to speak to Australians about cannabis policy, don't you think?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because
I
they've
think that
got like a medical cannabis program there in
yeah.
some form or fashion, and
And it's
so
fucked up that I'm even gonna do this, and like real Australians would probably fucking hate me for it too. But New Zealand has some really good fucking cannabis research that's going on down there. I used to read a lot of fucking um case study and shit that was coming out of New Zealand and like scientific study on the plant. So they get lumped together a lot because they're down there in the regions together, but I think that that's like people that like I don't know, make the misjudgment that like Mexico and Puerto Rico are the same fucking thing, right? And then like there's the pride amongst both of them that's like we're not the other one. I think that Australians and New Zealanders are like, don't fucking mix us up, dude. We're not them. You know what I mean?
yeah, I think I am aware of. I think Jim Jeffries, who's Australian, did like
Yes.
something about New Zealanders, or maybe actually it was. I don't know.
I went and saw
But
Jim
anyways,
Jeffries live one time.
really,
Way back in the day when he was like super poppin'.
dude, that's That's a cool performer to see live.
Yeah.
I saw Ron White live one time. You know who Ron
Oh,
White is?
nice. How was that?
It was amazing. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It was really cool. Um, it was actually the last time I think he was traveling too. He announced that he was, retiring. At the time, he thought he was retiring, and he still does comedy in Austin, Texas. But um, he just doesn't travel anymore, from what I understand. So
Yeah. I had the opportunity to. In high school, I had a buddy who got George Carlin tickets, and I was going. And then I got called into work or some shit at the time, and this was like in high school. And so like I was like, you know what, I'll just go see him next time. And he ended up passing away very shortly after, and fucking ruined me quite a bit.
that's fucking that's sad.
It is sad.
Um, Chi-Town says Aaron, aka Tater Salad, because Guapo says Ron White is one of the goats, the
He
greatest
really
of all time.
was.
George Carlin though was another
One of the
great.
best lyricists maybe of ever. A great storyteller. But
Yeah, like the memory that would be required to nail those things live,
yeah,
his bits, it's just absolutely wild.
back in the
It's
day, I
just
went
crazy.
through a rabbit hole of Carlin stuff that like he was like the only thing that I would listen to for a while, and his evolution of the seven words or whatever the fuck it is, the seven whatever. Um, that skit started off at like just a few minutes long, and the last time I think that he recorded it in like a live special, that fucking thing was like 20 plus minutes of him going nutso on the seven words, dude. Yeah, love that dude. That was my guy. Yo, hippy dippy weather, man.
Hippy dippy weather, man. Yeah, trying to
Oh,
think of other comedians I've seen live. Um, Joe Pera, he's a comedian on Comedy Central. He actually signed a book that's behind me.
nice.
Nick Offerman,
Okay.
who actually went to the University of Illinois, which was an interesting thing to learn. Learned a few other things very interesting about him, but I'll only share one because I thought it was interesting, and the other things, it's in his act, and maybe I'll share another time. But um, he specifically said the Kinkos, I think it's called,
Yeah.
in Champaign used to be um, a drug front, and if you went in
Oh,
there and
nice.
said a specific thing, like you could like you were told as like I guess a front desk person or something, like if they ordered a specific thing, you were to go and get the manager so that they could finish the rest of the order.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't doubt it one bit at all.
yeah. So he's told that story if anybody ever sees him, because I get the sense that he still comes and visits Illinois.
Oh, they're saying Nick
Um,
is from Manuka.
there you go. Yeah, so if you ever see him, ask him about the Kinkos and being a drug front. It's a
Yeah,
great story, and I'm sure he'd love to tell it again because it's fun.
that is awesome. That's yeah. There was a I mean, it was like a glass shop out here, but there was a glass shop that was running as a drug front for a while. They got bought.
Damn.
Yeah, as some drug fronts do.
R.I.P.
Mr. Voigt, have a good night, bro. Thank you a million for being here.
Take care, John Voight.
Yeah.
Um,
Crazy.
yeah. Well, speaking of which, Dave, I think I'm also going to be heading out. Um, I think I've smoked my last joint. I got to get up early in the morning. So, yeah, thank you for allowing me to come on to Peace, Love, and Cope. I really appreciate the ability to talk about um, mushrooms and my ideas that I can navigate the fourth dimension and UAPs, UFOs, and how to categorize cannabis and all the different AI and
Yeah.
LLM, all the different things we've discussed tonight.
No,
I love that you do this platform.
I appreciate you giving me this much of your time. And like I said, for those who don't know, this is Cole. Check him out on the Cole Memo on YouTube and thecolememo.com. That the
Yep.
Yep, website.
TheColeMemo.com. Yeah, you can find all my stuff there. So I'm on
Yeah.
YouTube as well. If you see me in the comments. So yeah, I appreciate you giving me the space. And it's cool to see so many familiar faces in the comments. So
Dude, yeah, I feel spoiled. Um there are some awesome folks who show a lot of love, but again, Cole, thanks again for your time. You're the fucking man. I look forward to the next time we conversate or do some recording streaming together.
yeah, I'm sure it'll be sooner rather than later, my friend. So
Yeah, I like that.
all right, you take care.
Yeah, you too.
Everybody, have a great night. What I love about your show, I'll leave you with this. I love that it's on Thursdays because everybody's always in a good mood, of course, just because you're a great guy. But it's like tomorrow's Friday too. So
Yeah.
cheers, everybody.
Yeah.
Friday.
Thanks, bro.
Yeah. Take care, everybody.
Cheers, fam. Sweet. You all are awesome for hanging in, hanging out with me and Cole. Um, thank you for also sharing in the chats and on. Let me get music started. There we go. um, Cole is somebody that, and as you, if you know from Two Dope Dudes to Three Dope Dudes, plenty of. I fucking love that guy. What a real one. And as I was telling you all too, that is somebody who, um, when it comes to talking about cannabis and journalizing and really searching for um the authority on what's going on, he seeks it out. He's had some really cool guests. His um mini doc is fucking awesome. Like, I genuinely recommend you check anything that Cole does out. And if you're not already, like and do a subscribe thing and show some love that way. But um Um, but anyway, uh, I'm going to, if y'all don't mind, I'm gonna run and hit the head, and then I'm gonna be right back. Stick around. We'll smoke another one. Maybe I'll turn the games on if there's enough people that want a game. But either way, y'all are fucking great. Enjoy this. Oh, damn good song too. Fine. Here we go. I'll put you another good weed song while I'm gone.
Oh yeah. You got your Mexican and Jamaican with those buds of blue. Humboldt County and hydroponic too. Okeechobee purple from down in the south. And that old stuff your uncle smokes will give you cotton mouth. Homegrown is healthy, synthetic can kill you. My all-time favorite, red hair Sinsemilla. That old wacky tobacco, when you feel it creeping up on you. That old wacky tobacco, kick back and let it do what it do. Oh, let it do what it do. Yeah, it do. Y'all got any Fritos?
Oh, what is up, my friends? Thank you all. Oh, dude, hold up. Wait a minute. Broke it. Y'all can hear me, right? Oh, you can hear me, but you can't see me. Hold up. All right. Again, thank you all for hanging out. Who's left? Who's still the brave ones that have stuck it out this long tonight?
Harmony and understanding, sympathy and trust abounding. No more falsehoods or derisions. Golden living dreams of vision. Mystic crystal revelation. From the mind's true liberation. Aquarius. When the moon is in the seventh house and Jupiter aligns with Mars, then peace will guide the planets and love will steer the stars. This is
Well,
the dawning of the age.
in that case, smoke a little bit of some tweeds. And, you know, if anybody's got any questions about any of the shit that got conversated about tonight, including AI or anything weird, I love just rapping about stuff. And I appreciate y'all giving us the opportunity to rap about the wild shit that we were talking about tonight. But also, we literally did. There was some really good shit that came out of that conversation I just had with Cole. I'm grateful for everybody who spent the time listening to it. I'm blazing another one once this thing goes, though. So if you're out there and you want to smoke one, and now's the time. Twisted, are you still around? You also let the sunshine in. Anyway, that's about it. I was I apologize to old Twisted. Sorry that I didn't get to the games. Hopefully some of my other friends. I know Biz, he likes to be a game guy. If you're left in the chat and you still, because there was some talk about it up here, and I'm just going back through the chat trying to read, see if there's anything to spark conversation. If you're still in the chat and you listen to comedians at all, can you tell me who your favorite comedians are so I can listen to some shit? I actually been listening to a lot of comedians lately, so if I could listen to some of your favorites, that would be awesome. I fall back to some of my classics again. Carlin's kind of my jam. I know fucking, Bob, don't fucking yell at me and don't talk shit right now. I love you. I love Mitch Hedberg still. I was listening to some of his shit. Some of it's rough, dude. Depending on how fucked up he is on drugs. Yeah. Yeah, maybe I am asking for more of but not really, because well, yes. I don't want to just go to a podcast and have to listen to hundreds of episodes as much as I would like to see like a set. Oh, Mr. Rourke, Mitch is my like I love goofy, quirky punchline shit, dude. And he kind of yeah, a polished 30 minutes sounds good. I fuck with John Panette. Also, another one who passed too early. Carlin again. And is that solder or soda? Like Rody Soder. Oh, I do. Okay, yeah, hell yeah. I do like this guy. Dude, you've been here for an hour. You go now. That's fucking dude. But god damn, that's awesome, Mr. Rourke. I love that shit. Get out of line. Oh, that felt great. Lion Chair LLC? Jordan Jensen? Okay. Oh, I did. Yep. I do know who Jordan Jensen is too. What was it? What was she? Hold on. Her, what did I watch of hers recently? Miss Pat. Hold on. Yeah. Bingo. Uh. Yeah. Yeah. Do you um do you like Mark Norman? Like his stand up is pretty good or what? Oh no, Mark Norman's fucking great. No. What's the fucking one that has the fight with Joe Rogan right now? Oh, Norm's got some jokes. I love Norm. Who's the Mark Maron, dude? That's the one that I'm fucking yeah. Okay. My brain was confused for a second there. Mark Norman's fucking hilarious. I really like Adam Ray right now. Been jamming some Adam Ray. Dude, I appreciate the hell out of this, honestly. I've tried to find like oh, this dude is fucking funny as shit, actually. Ali Sadiq, this dude's funny as fuck. Is he uh Oh, dude. Guap. This dude, he's like, I made this joke about giant China. It was supposed to be, but my everybody was saying it's not fucking Israel, dude. This fucking guy is funny as fuck. I saw this thing too. He said, what the fuck did he say? He said, what's the month that comes after June? He said, I wouldn't even say that. I would say, Jew tell the truth. So funny. Yeah, you know what? I think I saw. I think I saw a bit of him on Stavros's thing recently, or some skits off of that. Yeah, sweet. Well, now I have enough Nick Mullen. What is happening? Oh, do not know a Nick Mullen at all. Fire. All right. Well, friends, I'm gonna go listen to some comedy, and y'all can hear me. I'm fucking choking right now. It's getting me good. I think when I talk too much, sometimes it fucks my vocal cords up, or maybe it's acid reflux, or maybe it's I don't know. Been to the doctor enough times, they ain't figured it out. But that said, I want you all to know that I hope you strike peace when you seek it. I hope you find love when you need it. And I hope you can cope when you feel it. Peacekeepers, you're the fucking realest ones.
Avocado, 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 potato, 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 potato.
Remember this.
Hey, fentanyl ain't no good. Hey, fentanyl ain't no good.
It's disgusting. John Voight, Genetic Memory Farm, The Guapo, Cole Memo, Gary Cornett, Chi-Town Hi-Fi, Chris, Frank LaBarbara, Gamer Caleb, Chi-Town 21, Mr. Rourke 420, Dudley Dawson, Twisted Our Lady Salsa Courier, Biz, Dr. Danknugs, Cody Taylor, Penny Pebble, Rippler, Stephen Beard, Sean Whitney, Paige, Noctuum Gaming, Dr. Lebby Alone, and Gawani Ostinako, the entire cast, crew, and everybody. You're the fucking goats. I appreciate you all, and I hope you have a lovely weekend. I hopefully see some of you soon. I disc golf anybody and smoke sessions sometime soon for the rest who don't. All right, friends. Love y'all. Talk to you soon. Enjoy your night. Bye. Oh, what Mr. Rourke said. Hit that like button. I will be at Hellwood tomorrow, and I will be at the little flex on Saturday, probably. First groundhog flex. So putting league this tomorrow, Hellwood. Or we can all do a putting league if that's what you're saying. I'm fucking into that. I could get down. Get down, get down. But yeah, let's do that. If you're saying let's do it, then let's do it. I'm going tomorrow. I was invited by somebody. They actually bought my thing. Let me see what I can do for the 6th. As long as I don't have anything going on, I could get into that. Cool. Let's really okay. All right. Fair enough. I'm gonna write it. I'm actually, you know what? I gotta remind myself. Will both of you hit me up it with like at the beginning of next week and remind me that we need to do this? Because I think it goes live on like Tuesday or something. So you gotta like be there on Tuesday to hurry up and sign up on it and shit. So maybe on Monday or Tuesday afternoon, let's all rendezvous and figure this shit out. Guapo on the when we're talking on Monday, we'll figure this out. We'll hammer it down. And okay, all right. Talk enough. Bye. Miss you all already. Have a good night. See you soon. Bye.